that should be the driving motivation why you're getting into. And so that has been something that has evolved, because when I was in university, you know, I was in university in the 90s in Concordia, and during that period here in Montreal, there were a lot of black males dying, some from black-on-black crimes, some of it from the hands of police. And so I was very, very motivated politically. I got into political science. I was part of a lot of black movements like AKAX. We were hitting the streets, mobilizing black youths, and I thought that was the direction I was going. And I was being pushed by people in those circles to be a spokesperson because I was a Christian. So they saw me as this activist pastor wannabe. So that was an area that I thought I was going to get into. But then my values changed, and I started to see ministry more than activism as an expression of who I was. So yes, I was as concerned as any other young black male about their lives, but I also felt that the church, Christianity, was a reasonable option for those kinds of issues. And that's the direction I eventually went.
So with so much life and professional experience, what do you think your legacy is going to be?
Legacy? That's a big word. Let's just say that I'm happy to still be a part of gospel music on the local frontier and with many ties in the United States. And I'm happy that the opportunity to do more is still on the table. And I'm going to explore those options and see what amounts from it. But I'm not out to define my legacy. We'll just see how things evolve.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thanks, girls.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
She's a singer, songwriter, and actress who's been dubbed the Queen of Blues in Montreal. She's got dozens of awards under her belt and a sultry, energetic performance style. For The Vocalist magazine presents, this is Dawn Tyler Watson.
Little old man staring down the road, waiting on a bus. It's getting kind of cold. And when the bus finally gets there, if I were to describe myself as an artist and as a songwriter, singer, I try to be authentic, which includes that my styles are anything from soul to rock, hard, rock and roll, classic rock, jazz, funk, R&B, and of course I mix that all in a big pot de blues, like a big soup pot of blues, put that all in, and I turn up the heat on the, in the blues. And I feel that the blues is able to contain all of that. You're my Tootsie Roll daddy. It tastes just like a Tootsie Pie.
You were born in London and you grew up in Ontario. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
Well, I was actually born in Manchester, England, which is the north of England. They don't like to get confused with the Londoners, but I was raised in Ontario. We came over when I was 4, and my parents immigrated to London, Ontario, because the guy at the border just said, "Don't go to Toronto," which, I ended up there. We were raised in a pretty much all-white community, which was interesting because it was only when I moved to Montreal that I saw so much of a black community. I was like, oh my God, I'm black. It was like an Eddie Murphy moment. But my mom and dad sent my brother and myself to choir school from a young age. So from grade 5 to high school. I studied violin and I started singing. I was already singing in the choir. We went to church, and we were all singing in the choir from a really young age. So.
Do you remember your first performance and what that was like?
Oh my God. Actually, I do. I have a couple of memories from that age, you know. One of them, the first actual concert I did, I remember singing Anne Murray's Snowbird. And it must have been before I was, before I was in grade 5, because it was at the first school I went to. And the other thing I remember was I was on top of one of those big garbage bins at recess singing, Jeremiah was a bullfrog, dun, dun, dun. The whole bunch of kids around me going, woo, yay! So, you know, I loved the attention, the adoration. I was always trying to get attention in school, and I think that kind of, translated to later on being an entertainer. So I moved here in '88 to study at Concordia in the jazz department, and that's when I started taking music more seriously. I had already had a couple of bands and things that started to take off in Toronto. So I got in as a mature student at Concordia in the jazz department and started gigging, networking, put together a little blues band at that point, got into acting at that point. Things started happening really for me at Concordia. It was really good for me, and you know, I'm glad and very grateful that I got to go to that school and get the networking that you know. I had a great teacher who first drove me bananas. I thought she was out to get me, but really what she was doing was challenging me. And I guess she saw some potential there, and so she would just push me and push me and push me. And it was Jerry Brown, who's an amazing jazz singer. And, you know, I had this talent, and I'd been singing in clubs and like doing jam sessions, and I was drinking back then. I'd get on stage and I was like, yeah, summertime, it was summertime, I'm really loud and boisterous, because that always worked. And I belted it out, and I thought I did a great job. Woo, yay! And I had a great big ego back in school. And I remember that Jerry came up to me and said, okay, do you realize that this is a lullaby? And I had no idea. I really didn't think about it that way. I'd always sang it the way I sang it. And she says, I want you to sing it again, and I want you to sing it quietly as if you're singing it to a baby. So I did that, and I left in tears because I'd never sang that way before. I was A, afraid I'd ruined I'd failed, and B, I was just so shaken with emotion because it was just a whole other place. I had to go and search that emotion. I had to go and get that feeling to sing it like a lullaby to a baby, and it changed my life, and it changed my vocal life, because I even now when I work with singers, I try to teach them about dynamic. It's just something that, you know, we don't really know we have until we explore it.
And so when did you get involved with songwriting? How did that sort of start?
Interesting. I'd always written songs since I was like a teen, but I always felt they were too personal for me, for other people. So I was like, nobody's interested in these songs. They're too cheesy. They're too personal. I was very judgmental of myself. And when I was at Concordia, actually when I graduated from Concordia, I guess it was around '97, and I was already performing. I had a funk band, an R&B band called The Jam. And a friend of mine, Adam Broughton, at the time, brought these guys who were a small record label out in the West Island. And it was kind of a hobby for these guys because they all had other industries and businesses that they were working on. But they wanted to create a record label for jazz and blues in Montreal and help artists. And that's what they did. They came to me and they were putting together a blues compilation. And I was gonna do like Stormy Monday and like a shuffle or some kind of standard blues. And I went, no, I think I can write something. And I wrote 2 songs for that record. And they were like, these are great, yeah, let's do them. And that was the affirmation that I needed as a songwriter. And so that was in '97, and that basically launched my career in the blues.
Okay.
In 1998, July, I was on the Jazz Fest stage in front of 8,000 people on the blues stage. And then my next album, 2001, $10 Dress, was all original. And it's just affirming. And then my last album, it's affirming as a songwriter, but as a songwriter, it's still like pulling teeth for me. It's an exercise, it's a muscle.
Right.
Some people sit down and write every day, and I don't have that discipline. For me, I have to kind of go away, you know, to write and focus. And but it's nice to sing your own songs. It's really took my career to another level, and my personal journey in music as well.
Right.
It's really songwriting. For me, I try to go deeper. You know, I try to go deeper in myself and what can I share of my own experience as well.
You kind of beat me to my next question, but I was going to ask you, because I know Paul DeLaurier is obviously quite special to you, and you've worked with him pretty extensively over your career. How did you guys meet, and how did that duo sort of form?
Well, we started working together. We shared a drummer. So my drummer, Sam Harrison, was playing with the Don Tyler Blues Project, which came out of that Preservation Blues Review. The guitarist at that time was Corey Dybo, and he started working with Jonas. And so I had to fill that slot, and Sam said, you got to try Paul DeLaurier. So I called Paul, and I said, hey, do you play acoustic at all? He's like, yeah, I play a little acoustic. And anybody who knows Paul DeLaurier or who have seen our duo knows he's a monster on the acoustic. And we started doing a couple of gigs, and then we did a couple more, and he was selling his albums because he had his group as well, and I was selling my albums, and then we said, let's do an album together. And we ended up touring together for over 13 years. 2 albums, and we traveled all over. We went to Russia, North Pole, Dominican, France, of course. We had a great time. He's still one of my dear friends today. So we have a great chemistry on stage and a great friendship, and that comes across on stage. So.
And with Paul, do you have sort of a standout performance with him that you'll just never forget?
Many.
Sure. Yeah.
I think, you know, we played Jazz Fest 2012 perhaps, and we played what was when they first built the new stage, the first big stage, the one in the Place des Spectacles. I mean, playing the North Pole, going on a military tour, which is what we did. We went up there and played. We get in a Hercules and we travel, you know, 12 hours north to the actual Arctic, the most northern inhabited place on Earth. And not many people can say they've done that. You know, I've done that twice. And the time I went up with Paul, we had a blast, and we got stuck up there for 10 days. So, because you know, there was a problem with the plane, and then there was weather, and then Bosnia, and so we had 10 days up there hanging out in the snow, and, you know, with a bunch of Army folks and having a blast, you know, so that's pretty cool. Great memories.
When the bus finally gets there, there ain't nowhere to sit down, so the driver says, you can stand right here behind me, or you can wait for the next bus to come around. When that old man says, that's all right, I'll stand. I might look like a little old man to you, but I've been riding this bus for years and years and years, and I don't even know where it's going to, well, the driver says.
And the genres that you touched on before, I would like to say that in the newest album, Jawbreaker, they kind of all meld together in some way or another. It's definitely this eclectic mix of genres. Can you talk a little bit about the recording process for that album and just conceptually the songs and how that kind of all came together?
Getting me in the studio is really difficult. I don't know if it's because I move too much or I'm always on touring or what, but I have a hard time just sitting still and going into studio. I'm a live artist. I love to like get out there, do something, it's done, get the energy from the audience, give the energy to the audience, Finny, move on next, right? But when you're in studio and sitting there and you have to go over every little line, every single note, every breath, it's to me really tedious and not my comfort zone. So it's something that I resisted for a while. I've been working with the Ben Racine Band now for 3 years. Francois Tufo, who is the sax player and band leader for Ben, is Don, you got to do an album. Don, you got to do an album. Don, look at your missing sales. You got to do an album. Where every show we're playing, you got to do an album. Finally, okay, I'll do it. He says, look, I'm going to write it out. I'm going to send you a proposal. And he put together a proposal. We can do this, this, this. It'll cost that, that, that. Here you go. And him, he's a doer. He put it down on a piece of paper within like 20 minutes where I went, I can do that. Yeah, let's do it. I brought in songs that I had half written. I brought in songs that I'd written 20 years ago. I brought in songs that I had in my head that I, had on my cell phone, and we worked on them. It's definitely a community effort, and everybody's energy and spirit is felt on that, on putting together the tunes. And I feel mostly, really, it's about the energy and the love, the commitment that people put into it, and the band was there for me 100%.
Sure, I'm gonna sing a song. Well, see, I was born with no name, knowing nothing. Still, I don't. They said you need a name. We're gonna give you a name. I said, no, you won't. No, you won't. No, you don't.
It's very interesting because I find sometimes it goes back and forth between these like funny, almost humorous like lyrics and then the more serious tone and serious issues that are being discussed. So it's kind of an interesting play there that you go through with your lyrics, I find. So that's really cool.
And I like that. And that's part of my struggle as an artist too. Am I funk? Am I rock? Am I blue? It's a country. I got a country-ish song on there. We actually recorded another one that didn't make it to the album, which was very country. So I like having all those facets. I really like, because it's all part of me. I love to take things lightly and fun and just crazy and be silly. And then I also feel there's a lot of deep shit going on in the world that needs to be. Can I say that? I just did. But, I think there's a lot of deep issues that need to be expressed and explored. And as an artist, I think it's our responsibility to explore that.
So you're a pretty dynamic performer. Can you describe a show by Don Tyler Watson in just a few words?
It's going to be fun, it's going to be deep, it's going to be joyful, it's going to be moving, it's going to be crazy, you'll have fun. For me, I truly believe in having fun on stage. And if I have fun on stage, and if I'm present, the audience gets pulled in. And I think it's so important to connect as well to your audience. So I think to describe a show is really about connection and an interchange of energy.
Want you to be no slave. I don't want you to work all day, but I need you to be true. I just want to make love.
You're the co-founder of Vocal Expression Montreal, a company, I guess, which you founded in 2013. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's something that I put together with a friend of mine, one of my dearest, longest-standing friends, actually. I've done quite a bit of improvisation and studying improvisation, and I've done these workshops where you explore the voice, and that it's unlocked so many things for me personally, that it's something, and so had Sheila. Sheila Veerkamp was my partner, and we said we need to bring this to other people. I've been being asked for years, do you teach, do you teach, do you teach? And I just never had time before. It's an approach to learning to use your voice that we wanted to extend to everyone who loves to sing, not just working with professionals or people who wannabe singers or, singers, who sing in choirs and stuff, but this is open to anyone who has a love of singing, which means we work with a lot of amateurs. We believe that the joy of singing is what, can unlock so much for your, whether you are a professional or an amateur. It's really exploring the voice, your own personal voice, and having fun in that. I've always used this analogy. If you have a group of 5-year-olds and you say, come on, everybody sing a song, they're gonna sing at the top of their lungs in such joy with so much fun. And that's our goal, is to tap into that.
And looking into the future, what projects are you currently working on in your musical career?
Well, we're working with Ben Ursine. I'm gonna be looking at writing in the fall again for a new album. I'm still working with the Ben Ursine band, and I actually hope to do some writing with him as well. I'm still teaching more. Last year I was teaching at Sherbrooke University. So yeah, teaching more, touring more. We hope to be playing more in the States. I now have an American agent, so after winning the IBCs and all that, now we're starting this summer. We have a lot of festivals in the U.S. coming up, so I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just really grateful, and so grateful I make a living from my passion, which is singing, and not a lot of people can do that and say that, and so I feel very blessed.
And on the flip side, what are some of the challenges that come with pursuing a career in music?
Oh, not a lot of sleep. I think the biggest challenge, for me right now is doing it all. As I said, just doing it all, being your own PR, being your own manager, being your own, web designer, getting your band to get to rehearsal, doing all the scheduling, all that business stuff, the contracts, the taxes, all that stuff is the most challenging thing, I think, because singing part is easy. I've always said, you can't pay me to sing. You don't have to pay me to sing. I love doing it. You have to pay me for all the other crap that I go through, all the day-to-day stuff, and like the tweeting and the twittering which I'm still not good at, that's the stuff that is tedious to me. And, somehow I've managed to keep my name in the blues community in Canada, despite the fact that I only have 4 albums over a 20-year career, 4 albums. That's not a lot. And it's not that I'm proud of that. It's as I said before, I'm a little shy of the studio. I'd like to increase that and do an album every 2 years like most artists do. But, I definitely want to do more recording, more touring, and get to the point where when I'm touring, all I have to worry about is being on stage and singing. I think it's beautiful. I was coined this phrase, I think it was the Journal de Montréal that called me la reine de la blues à Montréal. To me, that's a title that I hold dear to my heart. Not that I'm any better than anybody else, but being an Anglophone and being, recognized as a blues artist in Montreal to that caliber and that level is very, I'm very grateful and proud of that.
You're my Tootsie Roll Daddy. It tastes just like a Tootsie Pie. You're my Tootsie Roll Daddy. It tastes just like a Tootsie Pie.
This singer-songwriter's music is packed with emotion, energy, and pure soul. Following a psychological trauma, she got together with a band and began writing music as a means to cope. For the Vocalist magazine presents, this is Honora.
every inch of me to rid myself of poetry that came from in between your teeth that night.
My first steps were tentative, you know. I was aware that there was this microphone that could hear every single breath and crack that I was doing, so I was kind of just a little bit self-conscious in the first recordings and stuff, and now it's almost like the opposite. It's almost like the mic is transmitting the loudest cries I could possibly summon from my body out into the world. So definitely cathartic, yeah. It was kind of like me saying, you are allowed to be here. You deserve to take space and say what you need to say and be the person you are, and nobody can take that away from you.
Absolutely.
Where you had found me and hope that I would see you again. Do you remember me, remember me? You were down and you hope that I could.
When and where did you first discover music?
It was given to me. It was bequeathed upon me. Music was shown to me by both of my parents. My dad is a drummer, and he's been playing in bands after band after band since before I was born. And my mom is also a singer. She sang in gospel choirs when I was growing up, and she was in bands as well. That's actually how they met. And so in the house there was always, you know, Yes playing, the Beatles, Ella Fitzgerald, all kinds of music in the background all the time. And it was just like a natural part of the household and always in my head.
And how did you start singing? How did that happen?
I think it was just out of pure enthusiasm for music. Being a little child, I would just kind of sing in this awful off-pitch froggy voice and spin around in circles, like these childhood videos of like 2-year-old me just kind of la 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 with my little sister. And just for the joy of it. And then as I got older, maybe in high school, I had like a bout, dealing with depression, and singing was one way that helped me feel really good,
And from what I understand, you actually began writing poetry and things like that before you really started turning them into songs.
Looking back, I think this whole thing has just been about me stepping into my own shoes, because this kind of hesitant nature that I've had in the past, I think that's what I needed to kind of push through. So when I was 18 years old, I was sexually assaulted, I was raped. And after that, I was kind of in this just spiraling tornado of despair. I stopped leaving the house for a good bit. I was having these panic attacks and just, unable to function on any level, social, be it whatever. And I had just started CEGEP in Fine Arts at John Abbott College, just a couple months after. And at that point, I was painting a lot and just kind of trying to deal with this and figure it out. And I hadn't told anybody yet at the time. And I had these sketchbooks that I was doing my preliminary drawings in for painting class. And I just kind of started writing in them just by habit. And I collected maybe 5 or 6 sketchbooks full of these drawings and little writings, trying to process what happened to me. I guess it was in my first year of Concordia, getting my degree in studio arts, when I had this flash of like, oh, okay, wait a minute, I stopped singing. Why did I stop singing? What's happened in my life that would make music any less important, or if anything, now would be the time to do it, because it just came to the point where it was like, okay, the worst thing has already happened to me. No one can take anything else away from me at this point. So it was just like, well, I have nothing to lose. So I took these little scraps of poems that I had been collecting over the 3-4 years prior to that, and took them to a producer called Sooks. And I didn't really know what kind of sound I wanted to go with. I was listening to FKA Twigs at the time, which is odd given how I sing now. But we just put together this album. Within maybe 2 months, all the tracks were done, all the singing was done, and boom, out it went.
Right.
And that was called Unstuck.
Draw a circle with the bed sheets. Keep me warm.
So I was busking in the metro station, and I guess her boyfriend at the time had like taken a video of me busking, because people would like take videos of their phone and stuff like that. And then I was like playing at that spot one day, and she was walking by. And
I walked by, and I had seen Paul playing guitar in the metro. And the first time I walked by him, I kept going, and I was like, oh man, that's the guy that my ex showed me about. He showed me he's really good. Oh my god. And then I went to class, and then I saw him again a few weeks later, and I stopped him, and I got his business card, and I still have it as like this sweaty, wrinkly little thing. It was in his back pocket. He was busking, and he plays so hard. He's awesome. And I sent him a little message, and we got together and started reinterpreting some of the songs from Unstuck in a more kind of like funky, groovy thing that kind of he brings to the table. And it was nice because he had this flavor that I had been missing from the music I listened to growing up, the more rock and soul, you know, classic R&B stuff that I loved so much when I was younger. So it was sort of like a natural click. That's what you were missing, and yeah, that was Paul.
And from what I understand, Christian and Adam, you guys came from the same band?
Yeah, we're in another band. I don't know if we're allowed to name drop. We're safe and sound.
Part of Safe and Sound.
So, yeah. I started working with her with another group. It was called Asari King. And then from that, we ended up working together, playing a bit more. And then we ran into him, Paul, when we started working with him, another drummer. Then I think you came along.
Yeah, I came along. We
bit
formed
after.
sort of a super group that had
Yeah,
a short time frame.
Yeah, a bunch of singers, 4 different singers and all kind of stuff. But then
And then we all focused in on...
started to work with Lizzie.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that like each member is able to bring something different to the table because we all have different backgrounds in the sort of music that we listen to or other bands that we played in or anything like that. So yeah, and I feel that, you know, each member is able to stand on their own as an individual, and you can rely on each person, and there's definitely a lot of love between everyone in the band and a general sense of care for everybody. So I think that overall I was able to, you know, make a sound that is, I think, unique, you know. Yeah.
And how would you describe your relationship with the band?
Sometimes I'm kind of like their mom, sometimes I'm kind of like their little sister, you know, friendship-wise, and it's really become a family unit. It's nice, like we all care for each other, and they have no problem telling me when I'm being ridiculous, and I have no problem telling them that they're being tardy for rehearsals, and it's fun. And I enjoy bringing them food and, you know, for shows, because I know sometimes they don't eat, and it's important to eat before a show. And yeah, Paul, I would say, is like a wonderful collaborator as well, because he's very open and, I mean, also awesome as a musician. He went to school and he's very soulful and passionate, very, very much connected to it. And it's been wonderful to play with a group of men, of young men who are so respectful and understanding and positive. And that has helped me relearn how I deal with people too. You know, after feeling like in this like vortex of being lost and unable to have any social contact at all, to be in a band with 4 dudes, you know, 4 burly dudes or whatever, you know, sleazy musician looking types, and it just being an endlessly positive experience is like, okay.
Watching every inch of me to cleanse myself of poetry that came from in between your teeth that night.
Was part of your goal sort of trying to help or shed light on the issue of sexual violence?
I think that I want to say yes to that, and I think I am doing that. I obviously don't want my entire artistry to be just about that one thing.
Of course.
You know, it affects your whole life and it'll be part of me forever. But I don't want to be like this whole victim. That's not who I am. You know, spokesperson, absolutely. So I hope that what I'm doing does help other people who are dealing with the same thing realize that it wasn't their fault and that, you know, they deserve to be happy and they deserve to, you know, find themselves again after something as debilitating as that. And I hope that we can have a more, you know, productive and healthy conversation about the subject that doesn't put blame on people, because I feel like the tendency is to put blame when we have this conversation, but you can't help someone when you're talking down your nose at them. So.
And I wonder who loved you. Flying, the sun shines off your skin. Patiently waiting. The sirens return again, turn again, turn again. Is this the last time I see you? Was I the only one who believed you? mercy on me, please. Can you take my friend back to me? I gotta know, where did he go? One goes out, another one coming in. Up and down and all around and deep within. Oh, higher now, can't hear a sound. Wish you knew that I was around. Flying in, the sun shines off your skin. Patiently waiting. The silence return again, turn again, turn again. Oh, should have known all along what to do those days you hadn't called, you hadn't called gravity. Is he that far? Did he go there? Day he joined the stars, joined the stars, joined the stars. Yeah. I gotta know, where did he go? Yeah, I've been hanging around. Yes, I have. All the places we've been, the stories I can't let out, I can't let out. Oh, higher now, can you sound? Wish you told me that you were down, I would have helped you out. Oh, flying in, the sun shines off your skin. Patiently waiting. The silence, return again, turn again, turn again. Draw a circle with your bed sheets. Keep me warm. Trace a circle on your belly.
Well, Honora is my middle name. My full name is Elizabeth Honora Hanley, and Honora is also the name of the woman who adopted my dad. So, you know, I didn't know her very well. She was a much older woman, and she passed away when I was really young. But it just kind of felt like a natural thing, you know, just have like a separation from myself, the human, and the artist, just in case things go further than I think they will, and people are screaming a name. I'd rather it not be my actual first name that I'm used to hearing, you know.
Oh, what's next? Drop blood on my knee and kiss.
And what role does each of you play in the songwriting process with Honora?
It's pretty much that guy.
Well, for like a lot of the songwriting, like you said, like when meeting Liz, like she had already been working on some songs, but it was kind of in a different vein at that time than what it is now. It was a lot more like, there's a lot more kind of electronic elements to it. So when we got together, we kind of were taking those songs that she had at first and kind of preparing them for a band setting and a live setting. So we added a bunch of stuff. We kind of changed the feeling of some songs, and kind of along the way we've wrote in some new songs, and we have a lot more kind of prepared. So, but a lot of the process is, you know, like someone will have an idea, and me and Liz will get together in my apartment first and run through some stuff, and okay, we got this part, we got that part, and we'll kind of soak it in for a while. Then we get together and there's something and we jam with the band, and then Ollie, will be okay. He'll add more of the details, like that doesn't sound right there, and we'll kind of move it around. So that's kind of been the process of what it seems to be becoming at the moment. So, and everyone adds their own flavor to it, of course, like, okay, let's have a break there, or let's move that part there,
Working with a band and being able to jam with live musicians, it becomes more groove oriented or rhythm oriented. So I'll get melody and rhythm in my head first and then give those words, so, and then sometimes I'll just get a line that comes to my head completely formed, like a little line. Like Clementine, my song Clementine, it's like, I'm watching every inch of me to rip myself a poetry that came from in between your teeth that night. That one came to me in the shower, just like as it was.
Mm-hmm.
What's really fun about having music online today is that people all over the world, if you're lucky, can hear it. So I have gotten lots of messages and comments and, from people all over the world who have said that they've been through the same thing. And what's funny, I actually, oftentimes when I'm interviewed for whatever publication, article, blog, website, whatever, oftentimes the reason that the person is interviewing me is because either they or somebody they're close to has experienced the same thing. So it seems to connect with people on a level that maybe just, I hate to say it, but just music does not. There's a more personal thing that I have chosen to be open about. So when I get letters from people, or when I get messages or comments, people saying, I'm glad you're talking about this, or I'm not ready to tell my family this, but this happened to me and I don't know what to do. Like, I think that, maybe not the music, but I think I'm serving my purpose.
In terms of your performance style, how would you describe a typical Honora performance?
I don't know, I've never seen one. I go up there, I go up on stage and I have fun, and I hope people are having fun too. I think that what's happening is that lots of emotions are coming out, not just party vibes and not just like emotional song, I think it's a mix of both, and I think that's what makes it interesting for me, is that there's like a beauty in moments of sadness and a sort of desperation for joy and happiness, and that comes out kind of sad too, and that's what makes it interesting for me.
And one of the bigger performances you've had was actually at the Jazz Fest. So can you talk about how that kind of came to be and what that was like for you? It
was a total accident, actually. My friend Alicia Brilla from Kitchener, Ontario. Actually, I became a fan of her music when I was in college. There's a song called LA Hotel Room that's just so mournful and sad. This beautiful plucking guitar in her voice. Lyrics, beautiful, beautiful song. And, I found that on YouTube when I was 19-ish and listening on repeat. And then I saw her on Instagram saying she was coming to Montreal over the summer for Jazz Fest. So I had written her a message saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're coming to Montreal. And then she said, why don't you come by backstage and we'll meet up or something? And I, of course, lost my mind. Like, I'm a huge fan of hers, so it was wonderful. And I did. Went backstage and met her after her 8 o'clock performance and, hung out with her, and then she pulled me on stage for her 10 o'clock and I sang backups on her song, Bigger Than That. It was amazing. I walked on the stage, people cheered, I heard my name pop out a few times, some people in the audience knew me, and must have been 10,000 people, and beautiful night. That will be just one of the most beautiful memories I keep in my heart forever.
Awesome.
So thanks, Alicia, for that.
One of the most recent projects that you've done is you've appeared obviously on La Voix this past season.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to audition in the first place?
Well, my mom had a big part in that. She's my #1 fan and hugest supporter, and we kind of just reached a point where, I was doing these shows at Honey's and other places too, and she came to one of my Honey shows and heard me do this whole thing, like the possessed, giving birth, whatever thing that she described, and she said that, it was time to take a risk and do something bigger and not stay stuck in one spot, and she's totally right. So took the risk, we went, I did the pre-audition. Actually, wait a minute, La Voix sent me an email to go to the pre-auditions, and I did that. So when the time came for the blind audition, I was feeling unsure. I wasn't sure if, French, Quebec TV was the place for me. I kind of see myself traveling a lot more for music, especially in the States and in Western Europe. That's kind of where I see myself. But you know, what's the worst that could happen? Like I said, I only have up to go, so I took the plunge, sang an Etta James song, and lost all control once I got up there, man, those lights. And then here we are. Yeah.
And you made it to the top 12, right?
24.
24,
Top
okay.
two, yeah,
okay.
it's like divided in 48, 36,
Right.
24. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the experience like for you when you look back on it?
I can only say good things about it. I mean, I know people have mixed reviews, but I mean, knowing that it's TV going into it, you know, the happy moments surprise you. That's kind of nice. The other contestants have all been amazing, super nice, inspiring, talented, generous souls. The coaches are super nice. They're awesome. Charles Lafortune is actually a sweetheart, and yeah, I mean, it's been super fun.
What do you guys like most about working with Honora?
Oh, that's a tough one because there's so much to say,
Yeah,
so much positivity, lots of good energy. She's such a genuine, powerful artist.
Yeah, well, she's a driving force. She pushes it forward, and like a lot of the problem with other brands or projects is who's the focus and what's the reason why, and she's pretty much the reason why we're all doing this. You know, she knows what she wants. She's going for it and keeps us all in check and in place.
Yeah. And she's not a diva, so it's really easy and like
rare mix. You know, it's
it's really nice to work.
Yeah, she enjoy it.
Say you're a decent guy, we all know that you're lying. Could I make it easier if I say it's silent? But you'll be on your way after leaving me broken, leaving me hopeless, leaving me worthless. But now I got new purpose. I got on that's it. I got on when it's in. I got on that's it. I don't wanna let you go. You ain't giving me no choice now. You satisfy my soul. I got something you should know now. Though you'll be on your way after leaving me broken, leaving me hopeless, leaving me worthless. But now I got new purpose, and I got no message, and I got new witness, and I got oh, let's say kiss me, baby. Oh, don't put up a fight, baby. Don't put up a fight.
have your name in the date in my name, and the date in my name. I think my biggest accomplishment, career-wise, has probably been, you know, between doing La Voix and having this band and maintaining this band. But I think that the more important accomplishment that'll take me further than those individual things was the, you know, where I'm at with the whole self-love thing. You know, I think that that's the self-acceptance and, you know, the mindfulness that I've been practicing is going to take me further than any one opportunity could, because any of those opportunities given to me 3 years ago would have ended up, you know, nowhere. So. You know, I think it's time for me to move away from the subject matter I've been working with, at least in my approach. So, you know, I think like anything else, it's just personal experience is what's coming out. So today I'm experiencing different things, so that's what I'm writing about. So I'm still affected by what happened in whatever way, whether I'm aware or not, so that'll always come out subtly, obviously, I don't know. Give me your hand. Okay, try to keep your hand in the middle, okay? Okay. Like push back. Try to keep it in the middle. Frustrating?
Yeah.
Pull your hand away. Pull it away. The struggle stops. You know, so I kind of realized that I had to walk away, essentially. You know, the more I obsessed and held on to the anger, the worse I was making it on myself. So I had to kind of find a way to walk away to the extent that I could and make peace with it. In a tree, where I sat and crying alone, waiting to be happy.
Do you have any goals as a band within the next 5 or 10 years where you hope to see this taking you?
I mean, we'll be at the top. We're gonna get as far as we can go, and we're gonna ride this out and have fun doing it. And
yeah, it gets moving forward, and it's all a positive experience, and we're all like trusting that things are constantly moving forward.
Yeah.
So there's no like nerves or anxiety with regards to that. At least on our part, I mean, like I don't know how the leader feels, because there's always, when you're running a project of this type, you always want things to go smoothly. Some things don't go as smoothly as you want. But you gotta have, I guess, you have to have a strong unit to back everything that's going on. So
for the next year, we're gonna release an album for sure. I would love to travel again to do some more performances. That was always fun to do with the band. And I don't know, I'd like to get on NPR at some point if I could. Those Tiny Desk concerts are super fun, so hopefully we could do that at some point. That would be lovely. And keep writing, keep composing, keep meeting people, and having fun. Yeah.
And sort of in the long-term process, where do you envision yourself maybe 5 or 10 years from now?
I see myself, you know, touring the world, touring everywhere. I'd like to be in Central and South America, Europe. I'd like to be in Africa. I'd love to go to Asia. You know, Thailand, Malaysia would be amazing to share music there. I'd like to be at the point where I can do festivals, you know, anywhere in the world. Just be part of that ongoing cycle of keeping music alive in any city. That's what I would like to really do. To share and give as much as possible to as many people as possible. Standing in line in order of appearance. Turn right, I wanna look at your face, and that night I wanna interpret it, honey. I don't remember. Is it time to go? I think that I should go. Is it time to go? I really think that you should go. Is it time to go? I think that I should go. Is it time to go?
This West Island band may be young, but they're wise beyond their years. With a new album on the way, they're ready to rock. For the Vocalist magazine presents, this is The Record Breakers.
We actually originally started off, which not many people know, is when we were doing our covers, we were under the name of Hayden and Friends. And we kind of came to a consensus that that was a terrible choice. And well, we needed a new name, and at that point, since we were doing heavily on the old school covers and all this stuff, we wanted something that was retro. So we were throwing out names and such, and obviously the topic of records came out a lot, vinyls and such. So somebody blurted out the Record Breakers, and we thought about that, and we're like, you know what, that might be a good name to use, and it stuck, and people, out of what we know, like the name, so we're keeping it.
Walk away from this place I'm stuck in.
Tell me how you guys met.
The way we met was all through a music school that we'd all gone to at a certain point. I was in a band with Devin at the time, Bella and Julian were also in a band, and Michael was in another band with members that I used to play with. But there came a point where there was a show that I was offered, the Montreal Beatles Day in 2014, and I needed a band to be put together for this. So already working with Devin, he was in, Bella, essential for the band, so absolutely, and Julian came along and couldn't be happier with that. And Michael came in with, at that point, simplistic guitar playing, and we've kind of developed him into this amazing person that he is now.
I started on guitar. I was taking lessons when I was like 11 years old maybe, and then I've pretty much been singing all my life, took lessons. Then I only learned banjo about a year ago, and I pretty much just self-taught, and not the best yet, but I'm trying, trying really hard.
I've been playing guitar now for, it's probably approaching 10 years already. In terms of music in general, it's been my thing my whole life with other instruments, but guitar around that time, I've been singing for as long as I can remember, and I've picked up some other instruments along the way.
I started playing guitar when I was 11 years old, and I started learning the piano around a year ago now. I took a few lessons, but mostly I just used the internet and figured out what sounded good to me.
I started around grade 7, and then 5 years, and then now it's going to be around 8, so yeah.
I started in grade 8, and I was kind of just learning at school, and then I started seriously taking lessons in grade 9 at the same music school where we all met.
When it came to recording your first EP, what I noticed was that there was definitely a mix of genres. Every song sounded completely different, almost from different bands to some extent.
Yeah.
So, what was what was the writing process like for that EP?
Well, at that point, we really didn't have a main style. It was really like his stuff was still pretty bluesy and rocky, and mine was still more pop. Like at that point, I only sort of started getting into folk, and those songs were all written at pretty different times. Like, I don't know, 2 of them were written like a year before we even thought we were gonna write an album or have an album. So it's pretty.
We started writing together by that point a bit. One of the songs, I think it was a couple of songs on the album, we'd realized that if we write together a bit more, we can do some cool things rather than just my stuff and just her stuff. And that kind of, I think, was the start of finding our sound, was when we'd actually collaborate a lot better,
Because now it's like much more centralized on an idea. Like it's not very different anymore as it used to be.
Fresh air, far from home.
So I want to take it back to the summer of 2015. I don't know if you guys know what I'm alluding to, but I heard that you performed at a show where Blue Rodeo was headlining.
Yeah.
So, and this obviously was a pivotal moment, I think, within
really
your
was.
band. So do you want to talk a little bit about that performance, how that even happened, and meeting Blue Rodeo?
Well, There's a thing that happens in the West Island here every year called Strangers in the Night. It's a fundraiser for the Starlight Children's Foundation. And we'd gotten in touch with the organizer, and at that point my mom was doing a lot of the bookings, so she sent out an email. She's like, hey, we're from the Record Breakers. Here's a video of us playing a cover song. It was actually from our first show, because this is still a while ago. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to have them at this event. And we're like, what? He replied within like a day or two, and we were shocked. And at that point, we didn't really know Blue Rodeo's music, per se. I started listening to it, and I'm like, this is good. And then after the show, we'd gotten to speak to all of them, and they were the nicest people we'd ever met. And their music so strongly influenced us that from that point on, everything we did was different and had more of a meaning to it.
Why can't we turn our heads away? I was taught to kick down doors when I was stuck in between. But I can only close yours. I hope you'll do the same for me. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Now it seems like I'm drowning. I feel the water flowing in. I've got a boat to go down with. I hope to see your soul within. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Remember when our hearts were young, like children playing in the sun? Wait until the night is gone. No more thoughts of what went on. I will cry. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Why can't we turn our heads away? Watch the love fade. Why can't we turn our heads away and watch the love fade? Why can't we turn our heads away and watch the love fade?
the release of the EP, I heard that you guys had a sold out sort of show venue. Do you want to talk about that experience?
Yeah, it was a lot of people there. We weren't expecting that many. There was some people coming in, like we didn't know them, like friends or family. We didn't know, it was just random people coming in, which was cool. We had friends, family. And it was a big deal because, I mean, it's our first EP, so we're really hype about it. So,
Pretty hype.
Yeah, really
I think
hype.
everybody, I mean, if you're a musician, I think everybody that is a musician probably dreams about releasing their first album. And so it was a pretty big deal. It was so full of people. It was so amazing. And the whole vibe of everything, it was just so exciting. Like, just to finally release it and have all this, like, all these people supporting us was just awesome.
Check. Are you good?
How do you guys go about writing a song? How does that work? Do you guys vibe off of each other? Or do you have lyrics that you then put music to?
Usually they would come up with the writing and all that, and we would listen to it, and we play over and get ideas, and then we find the structure, and then we put them together, and then so they're the main writers. They write everything.
We're
So
the main writers.
But the answering machine said, better luck on the next try.
Sometimes it really depends on the song. It's not like we sort of like set a date and we're like, hey, we're gonna write a song together today. It's more just like, if he has something that he wants to show me, he'll send it to me, and I'll write something, and I write songs really quickly, and and so I just send it to him, and I'm like, oh, sorry, so this is like really rough. I wrote it in 20 minutes, but is it good? Should we use this? So we usually do that, and then
did you write like 3 in one day or something?
I was
like that?
literally actually just going to ask that question. I had read, I think it was on your website, that you're known to write 3 songs in one day. So how does that work?
I don't do that anymore. I don't know. I should. But back, like, I think it was like 2 summers ago, and I was just, I don't know, I guess I had nothing to do that day. And at that point, like, we started writing one song. We were writing it backstage at the Corona Theater, actually. So we started writing it, but there were no lyrics. So it was really just like a chord progression. So I had that. And then I had 2 other ones where I had no idea why I wrote them at the same time to finish that one. But I guess I was really bored and really inspired that day. And I just wrote 3 songs in one day, all pretty different styles too.
Yeah.
But I've done that day.
It was still good.
It's still good though.
It's kind of slow, no? Or is
It's probably because we slowed down.
Okay.
Although I thought the tempo was still pretty good. Like we still.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It didn't really like.
You didn't really notice that much. No. I mean, we'll try for the next song anyway, but.
Are the mics on? Just play some. I guess we play quietly. Sure.
What would you say inspires you to write songs?
A lot of the time, because I don't write songs based off of things that happen to me. So pretty much any song that I have currently is basically not based off of anything from my life, as most artists usually do. I really love watching movies. I really love watching TV shows, and I love reading books a lot. I'm really into that whole fandom thing and getting really invested into, shows and things like that. And so I get a lot of inspiration from storylines. So I don't go through very dramatic things in my life, but these people do, like shows, the characters do, so I just take it from there.
I do wait a lot of the time for some inspiration. Sometimes I'll try to play around with things, but if I have an idea coming often enough, which is really, I don't even know how it happens, but I love it, I'll have a chorus of a song and the chord progression just pop into my head right away. And I often enough will run to get my guitar, and I take my phone out, put the recorder on, get my lyrics. I'm like, okay, write this down before you forget it. And then I'll grow from there and extend it until I have something that I feel is solid enough or is really touching personally.
You want your man. I said you we will stay, I swear. You won't try. All my life I swear to hold my heart. Take away the space, keeping us apart. Down by fire. You are my one desire. You won't you hold me. You won't be lonely. Hold my hand and we will stay, I swear. You won't try. Every day seems like such a blur. Your love is like a poison with no cure. I don't really mind, 'cause I get to call you mine. You won't you hold me. You won't be lonely. Hold my hand, we will stay, I swear. You won't you hold me. Won't you take my hand, darling, let's dance. So won't you take my hand, darling, let us, you won't you hold me. I said you won't be lonely. And hold my hand and we will stay, I swear. You won't try. Won't you hold me? I said you won't be lonely. Hold my hand and we will stay, I swear. I swear. You won't you hold me? Down to the last day, you were always there. Watched it go to waste, drifting through.
You guys filmed a music video for one of the songs, If You Need. So do you want to talk about how that filming went and where the idea came from, the concept, etc.?
The concept was pretty simple. I guess when I listened to the song, I always kind of just imagined this very simple, like outdoorsy kind of video, since it's pretty folky. So that's what we went with, and the filming of it went pretty well. It took 2 days, I think, about 2 days. And I mean, we had like literally the best weather ever for it. If you could tell in the video, it's like the most beautiful days that we could have possibly gotten. Unbelievable.
When you touched my arm, oh, it felt so real.
You guys, you have two main vocalists, so how do you determine who takes the lead in a song?
Whoever wrote it.
As most of the time.
Yeah, okay, it has happened, I think, only with like one song.
Yeah,
really.
sometimes little choruses and stuff.
Little choruses, but overall it's, I mean, you wrote the song, you sing your song.
And how do you guys add to that musically when you're, faced with some lyrics, and maybe how does that work, the songwriting process, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Well, I'd say we basically, they write the lyrics and the chord progression, and then they bring it in, and then we work on it as a band, and we figure out together what fits and what doesn't. So we'll try different drum beats, we'll try different things on bass, and based on what the song needs, we kind of just develop it through that. So sometimes certain songs might be more focused on the lyrics, and then, Julia and I and Michael and I we'll all keep it pretty simple musically and have the lyrics and the harmonies as the center. But sometimes it's like our instrumental song, like that's all musically driven. So then our parts get more complex, and we kind of.
That's when we really took it to the next level, where we made it, like complex. And
with this growing experience, we've realized that simplicity is very important. And it's not, the guitar is not the most important part of the band. It's not the singing. It's not the bass. It's not the drums. It's not the keyboards. It's the song that's the most important part. And that's what we've come to realize, is that it doesn't really matter what we're doing a lot of the time, as long as it's affecting the song in a positive way. We're not overdoing it. And sometimes the song will call for that, but most of the time we just, here's the song. Enjoy the song. We're not showing off. Here you go.
What would you say is one of your biggest accomplishments thus far as a band?
I think releasing our album
Yeah, for sure.
was one of the biggest accomplishments. I think at such a young age that we are, it's a pretty big deal. So I think that really was one of the big
just to
stepping stones.
Put on that, like, the show itself too, like not just the
Yeah,
album.
just
like, because we had to, it was all like us that did it, We got the venue, and then we basically did the rest, we made the album, we purchased all the t-shirts, sold all the tickets, did all the promotion for it, and it was a huge project, and it all came together really nicely. I think that was probably our biggest accomplishment, just the entire thing.
No matter how long I stay.
What is one of your biggest goals as musicians?
I must say that the biggest goal would be to make this our living, being able to rely on this band would be spectacular, not having to do anything else. It's a big dream that a lot of people face, and it doesn't always happen, but we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep trying to make this happen no matter what. And that's definitely something big for us, is that if we could make it in the industry, play shows all the time, tour to all the little cities, all the big cities, and pretty much reach out to all these communities, get to know the world more with our music, it would be a dream come true. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter how long I stay. Oh yeah. We're gonna ride through the rain. Charlie's dance through. All right, break it down.
This band will take you on a cinematic journey with every melody. With each member hailing from different parts of Canada, they each bring a unique element to their sound. For the Vocalist magazine presents, this is Shire.
Tongues are tied with salt from the sea.
I would say that our music is honest and educated.
I feel like some people write music for movies, but I feel like I almost create the movie for the music in my head. So very visually driven colors and textures and kind of another world.
To go in the same vibe as Sarah, I would say soundtrack. It's basically a life.
Where did you first discover music?
It's always been a really strong force in my life, I think, throughout the years. But when I was a 2-month-old baby, my mom told me this. She was playing A Christmas Carol, kind of on a tape, Silent Night, and apparently I just wept and cried. It was a very profound emotional experience, which she was very freaked out by as a new mother. But yeah, I think it's just always been something that's moved me very deeply in terms of self-discovery, though, I'd say it really started with my music lessons when I was about 8 years old. I started with classical piano, so over the course of my classical piano education, I generally morphed into an aspiring jazz musician, so I'd play like things more in the improvised like jazz realm. And then the first show that I ever performed, I was playing piano and singing a jazz standard, so it really kind of married the two elements together for me, and now they're stuck.
Wow. Wow.
Teamwork.
Wow, this mic is so nice. I've always been composing. Like it just started with piano songs, and I'd make up little songs to tease my cousins, or little songs to express a certain emotion. And then I think in high school is when I started adding lyrics about romance and teenage hormones and stuff. So yeah. Before going to music school, I really had an idea in my head that I wanted to create my own project out of it, because that's just something I've always wanted to do. And then when I got to McGill, I realized that I was so surrounded by all of these talented people who had also spent hours and years just like working on their passion and dedicated to this craft. So there was one class actually that most of us were in at the time. We were all in our first year, a jazz theory class, and I was putting together this recording session because I had met this sound engineer also at McGill, and I just needed some players to kind of like put it all together. So I assembled a group of people, and yeah, some of them are still in the band today, which is really great. So I think McGill and just being in that environment helped me be exposed to the community and just meet a lot of people who are willing to work on stuff.
Tear stained green eyes, chromatically descending.
The first performance happened in 2013 at the inaugural edition of a festival called Festival de la Voix that celebrated the art of voice. But I assembled this big group of string players. It was myself and I think 5 string players and 2 backup singers. I just like went all out for this little 20-minute performance. But just feeling that response, it was the first time I'd performed in a group really, like I'd been in a few bands but kind of like thrown together things. But this was first time I really laid my heart out in a room in front of people, and I think, yeah, I was like, this is what I need to do.
And the band name Shire, what does it mean exactly, and how did you come up with it?
Yeah, it's a mix of the letters of my name, actually. So Sarah, S-A-R-I-H, Rossi, R-O-S-S-Y. If you like flip them, creates Shire, add an E. Yeah, it's a little puzzle.
Visions flailing on by, having so much more to live.
When you compare the 2 EPs that you guys have put out, what are some maybe distinct differences between them, or are there differences at all?
Yeah, you can definitely hear the evolution between the two. The first one's a little more orchestral. I put it together all myself with a bunch of students and student engineers and stuff like that. So it's a little more DIY in style, but you can really hear kind of a younger character. You hear there were strings, there was a harp on some of the tracks. It's a little more orchestral and arranged. And then the second EP is a little more like full band sound, like we were the set members of the band at that point, so it sounds a little bit different, but we tend to do both. So Bare Bones comes from the first CD, and Atlas Flags from the second.
My cymbal stand will not fall today. It will not fall today.
Yes, the words still sting, handcuffed as they ring. Oh. 'Cause I still remember the promise and hope. It trickles down softly to bare bones beneath. Truth is told, rounding up the weighted chains, rustling in the rain. Paper folds, essence dear as passage to my tears. I still remember the promise and hope. It trickles down softly to bare bones beneath. Shimmering shades of hearts, splintering shards of the knife that's torn us apart, casting shadows on the glow of your skin. So now I sit here in dark.
Every band has their characters. So I heard, Frédéric, that you're kind of like the dad of the band, and Sarah, you're kind of maybe the more eccentric one a little bit, Natalie a little bit more energetic. So where does everybody fall in the band in terms of that?
I'm definitely like the manager, so like the father. I'm try to take care of everybody so that like they're all happy when we're all on tour and we're doing like really long days and stuff like that. So I try to take care of everyone.
Fred's definitely like, he drives the van.
Organized.
He makes sure that
meticulous.
we're all okay. Because touring is pretty stressful, but like he definitely provides for everyone, which is really, really nice. As well as plays the violin, which is great. Natalie is like our puppy. She falls asleep in the van, and but like is very charismatic and outgoing and kind of keeps it fun, which is great. Victor, the violist, is kind of like everything against the grain. If you say left, he will say right. Yeah, and he has a mission to like popularize the viola, or just, I guess, show people what a viola is. So he's kind of like the out there artist type. And then lastly we have Joe, who's our bass player, who doesn't say much, but when he does, it's like powerful, musically and as a human, which is cool.
Guys, I took a mental health day today and just decided to practice 4 hours instead of going to school.
It brings a big diversity in the band, and I think that's a really good thing. To have Natalie from Vancouver, and then Joe, our bass player, from Moncton in New Brunswick, and from Gaspésie, east of Quebec, and then Victor is from Ottawa, and then Sarah's from Montreal. Having all that at the same place, with all different backgrounds, like, I mean, my grandfather was a fiddle player, which is quite different from what we're doing in the band, but you know, there's for sure a build up that like,
yeah,
it's gonna come out, like sneaks out for like...
Like the Ashes say thing is like, we didn't know, like it doesn't communicate why you're there, it's just like mysterious, it's like random, it's really funny.
Every time we get on a stage for us is like the result of hours and hours of work, and every time we get on stage, it's just passion that we just can like just let go. For me, one of the most beautiful time was in Kamouraska about 2.5 years ago, and it was our first show sold out that we ever played. So it was like a really powerful experience with like little kids just sitting by us, and like, yeah.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
We could see the sunset during the show on the water.
Yeah.
What's really cool about the Jazz Festival is that there's just so much happening all the time, and it's such a cool vibe. So we hung out all week downtown, and we took little videos on the festival grounds. They have the area for kids with like all the outdoor musical instruments, and so we just went and like played music there through just being present in this place where there were so many people already. We really had, I think that the Jazz Festival is special because there's just so much happening.
Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes and call me on and on across the universe.
Rehearsing really isn't maybe what people think. Rehearsing is not like playing a show. Rehearsing is challenging in the sense that we challenge each other and we challenge each other's ideas, and we have to not be afraid to be honest with each other. And if I'm not performing well, or if I can do something better, or if we want to get deeper into something and draw something better out, sometimes that can cause friction or whatever. And so luckily we get along very well. But as we all grow as musicians individually, to come together as a group, it's just really an example of iron sharpening iron. We make each other better, but that's not an easy process. To become sharper as a group requires that friction and that rubbing on each other and bringing the best out of each other. So rehearsing can actually be quite a challenging process.
It's an orbit, it's a pattern. It's a cosmic clash to all that you live for, right in front of your eyes.
a thing to be said about the fact that there is two strings instrument in the band, which is kind of not typical because there's no guitar player. So when guitar plays, guitar will provide both harmony, melody, and rhythm. And when there is strings, it's really hard for us, me and Victor, to be more than melodic. So a lot of the time in the rehearsal, we're going to be trying to find new ways for the string to provide rhythm, a bit of harmonies, to fill up those other holes that happens maybe in the music.
Thanks to our education, we've all developed individually. Like, we all spend at least a couple hours every day alone in a practice room developing our craft, so that when we come together, we're always bringing a better version of ourselves, actually. So what's been cool is that over the last 3 years, we've all grown so much at our instruments. So our artistry and our ability to express who we are as individuals through our musical instruments has become easier and it's become deeper. And so I think that bringing that to the group has just like enriched the group's sound and what we're able to do together, what we're able to create.
We have 5 personalities really different, which all bring something different to the table, as you were saying. But at the same time, we're all doing that for the honesty of the music. We just want our music to be heard, basically. And so when the goal is that honest, simply, I think we're going from there. We're gonna go somewhere just because of that.
I think that that's what makes what we bring so rich and beautiful and unique, is because we're not homogenous. But because we don't mix, I think we adapt to each other and we see how we can work together and how we make each other better and how we can value each person's different qualities.
We got into a really interesting process of like, where do we want our music to go? There's so many options of like general music, and we want to have a consistent idea of the lyrics that are in the songs and on the album. And so it's been a really global question about like who we are as a person, each of us, one of us in the band, and then as a band, where do we want to go, simply. One of the things that we are going to be working towards on that new album is maybe having music that's going to be more to be listened while dancing or just being like up, instead of being like a show where people sit down and listen to music. So maybe there's a bit more groove from the drum and stuff like that.
And bass, drums and bass.
But yeah, it's been a really, really interesting process of like discovery, basically.
Subterranean fears, miles below, miles away. The anguish that was lost faces peril for a day. Sequestered origins hide below, hide away. Laced in the frost, use your fist as paperweights. I see it now. What lies ahead is already. I see it now. cedar of the lost, I raised an atlas flag. Unadulterated poise through my soul, through my veins. A stone cold wall is a nursery on a grave. Incandescent victories are figments, fragments with filaments of shame. In an apricot sky, I hear the sirens cry. I see it now. What lies ahead is already. I see it now. I'm cedar of the lost, I raise an atlas flag. But I can dig and cry. And the truth, the bitter truth, will still slip by. Ooh, I need a fix from something alive to restore and relent from feeling the poison behind the curtain. I'm undeserving. I see it now. What lies ahead is already. I see it now. As cedar of the lost, I raise an atlas flag. An atlas flag.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment as a band so far?
We've played a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's something different from a bit different from other new artists. Since I'm from Gaspésie, I basically tried to bring the band over there a few times, which worked. And so when we calculate how many shows we played over the past like 3 years now, we were like around 150, which is like amazing.
It's a lot of shows. But I think what's more special about the number is that the number of cities that we've gotten to visit and the number of people that we've been able to touch through all of those shows. So that's, I think, a big accomplishment that we're all really proud of.
And I would add that in order to play all of those shows and to touch all of those people, our accomplishment as a group, as a team, is that 3 years later we're still here. And we actually work better together today than we ever have, really, I would say. Like, our ability to pack the van and be organized, and it's an accomplishment. And understand that when we go to these places, when we go to play these shows, everybody has their role, everybody has their strength, and we've really learned to play off of each other's strengths in order to succeed in our goal, that is to play honest music and meet people and travel.
What are some of the biggest challenges that come with pursuing a musical career?
Ooh, employment, security, societal disapproval. No, I think it's generally, we're all about to graduate, so I guess we'll answer that question on the next episode. But I think it's a lot of open communication, like I said before. Like, we all have to be totally open and honest with each other and just very clear and good at communicating. I think those are true with any aspect of life, but especially when you're on the road with people in one very small hotel room, one very small van, in one very small recording studio. Like, a lot of it is just learning how to deal with people, and I think that's been a big challenge because we're all so different.
The sum is greater than its parts, that's for sure. We actually do have a role in society, believe it or not. And I think that if, as not just artists, but as artisans, we take what we can contribute to society seriously, if we take our craft seriously and we're committed to honing our craft and creating something for others, then we'll continue to have this sense of mission where we have something to create, we have something to express, we have something to bring to people, and everything that we do is in order to accomplish that mission. I think we all have our own weaknesses. I am very familiar with my weaknesses, but we can encourage each other to stay motivated in the little things and faithful in the little things so that we can really accomplish this mission together.
Where do you see yourselves in the next 5 or 10 years as a band?
I would like to travel the world and see the world through music. And really, I think the meaning of life boils down to we're not so different as humans. And I think that we've really seen that through connecting people all over Canada thus far. And I'd like to kind of leave the continent, the country, and just see where that could go. Like, I'm really interested in touring through Europe and other parts of the world. So hopefully at that point, we will be kind of needing to stamp our passports a little more.
I think in the last 3 years, we've experienced the first baby step of what we're going to be able to accomplish together as a group. And I think that as we learn to work together and be open and hone our craft so that we can create more, and as we work towards excellence as individuals and as a group, I really think that what we've accomplished during this one little season of our lives is really just going to be like the launch pad for what's coming. Yeah.
Full of metaphors. Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think.
Down the wishing well. Far across town, beneath the moon and the stars, that's where it all went down. I remember clearly. I do. Among those of the sea.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Montréal en musique. Aujourd'hui, on vous présente une auteure-compositeur-interprète multi-instrumentiste à la plume très bien aiguisée. Elle nous propose des textes intimes et engagés sur une musique folk-rock à forte ascendance blues. Sur scène, qu'elle soit seule ou avec son band, c'est toujours corps et âme qu'elle livre son spectacle dans lequel se mélangent musique et spoken word. Aujourd'hui à l'émission, on découvre Samuel.
J'ai commencé à écrire de la poésie, j'avais 7 ans.
La poésie?
Ouais. Je voulais écrire un roman, mais c'était long. C'était trop long d'écrire un roman. Fait que finalement, la poésie, c'était... Je sais pas, dans ma tête, c'était super cool. Puis j'ai un peu jamais arrêté d'écrire de la poésie. Puis quand j'ai commencé à jouer de la guitare, ça c'est juste comme... J'étais pas tout à fait capable d'apprendre les chansons que j'avais envie d'apprendre. Fait que c'était comme plus simple d'écrire. C'est pas gênant pantoute.
Il était une fois une princesse autonome qui vivait dans l'attente d'absolument.
Mon papa était auteur, compositeur, interprète. Et c'est ça, je suis un peu née là-dedans. Là. Il y avait des guitares un peu partout. Quand j'étais petite, je le suivais en show. C'était comme Disneyland, là, d'aller en coulisses, d'aller dans des hôtels, les festivals, avoir ma passe, backstage. C'était vraiment cool. J'ai roulé des fils. J'avais 5-6 ans, je roulais des fils, je transportais des guitares. C'était vraiment... c'est ça, c'était mon univers.
Aujourd'hui, tu peux dire que tu es multi-instrumentiste, justement. Tu as grandi dans la musique, dans les guitares, justement.
Ouais.
Donc, tu joues de la guitare, tu joues de la batterie.
Ouais.
Quel autre instrument tu
Je joue de la basse aussi. C'est probablement, quand je joue du rock, l'instrument que je préfère jouer. Puis j'ai d'autres projets. Je suis auteur-compositeur, mais j'ai aussi des projets de rock. Donc, quand je suis pas en train d'être auteur-compositeur, j'aime ça jouer de la basse, puis de la batterie. Puis, bon, guitare acoustique, guitare électrique, ukulélé, machin.
Am I hearing it or do I need it?
No, I said, do you need it?
Yeah, please.
Si on revient en arrière, là, au tout début, est-ce que tu te rappelles la première fois que tu étais sur scène, que tu as fait un spectacle?
Ben en fait, je suis allée à l'école du Plateau, qui était une école de musique. Donc, à chaque année, on faisait des spectacles de musique. Mais la première fois que je suis montée sur une scène avec une guitare pour chanter, c'était genre secondaire 4 pour un projet de coopération internationale. On a fait un show bénéfice. Puis j'ai chanté une tune de Nirvana. C'est la première fois que je chantais devant des gens, j'étais terrorisée. Et ça s'est quand même bien passé.
Moi, ça m'intrigue toujours. Ça ressemblait à quoi tes premières chansons? Quand on écoute aujourd'hui, tes textes, c'est très... Tu sais, t'as une plume assez raffinée.
La première chanson que j'ai écrite en français, c'était une chanson sur les doubles standards.
OK.
De genre, comme, qui parlait de la pression de performer le genre féminin. Puis j'étais déjà comme mal à l'aise avec ça, tu sais. J'étais déjà mal à l'aise avec ce qu'on s'attendait de moi en tant que femme. Puis genre, à 15 ans, c'était ça que je parlais. J'étais très... Pour moi, toutes les bandes qui m'intéressaient, c'était des bandes avec des messages consonance sociale. Il y avait toujours une démarche derrière ça. Puis c'est comme ça que je me suis mis à écrire des chansons. C'était engagé.
Ça file pas fort. Tu sors. Faire un tour, prendre l'air, voir des amis, boire un verre. Tu l'échappes. Ça dérape. S'enfile les drinks, les heures, les shooters. T'as fini de compter. Le sol a enfin quitté tes pieds. Retour brutal. Plancher glacial. Ton cerveau ramolli s'écoule par tes oreilles et ton foie écœuré s'est répandu sur tes orteils et sur ta peau. L'odeur de quelqu'un que tu connais pas. Tu t'es encore rendu là.
Ce que j'ai découvert avec le slam, c'est que je peux dire beaucoup plus de choses que dans une chanson. Une chanson, tu sais, la structure, tu sais, pour qu'une chanson dure 3 minutes, t'as peut-être, je sais pas, 150, 200 mots. Tandis que 2 minutes de spoken word, t'as vraiment de la place pour parler beaucoup. Puis on dirait que ce qui me pousse à écrire des chansons, c'est plus des émotions, plus intimes puis personnelles. C'est un peu moins, mettons, les enjeux qui me préoccupent. Fait que j'ai trouvé, avec le spoken word, j'avais les moyens de parler des choses qui me préoccupaient, qui étaient beaucoup plus larges, puis de façon un peu plus approfondie aussi. Puis ça crée aussi un changement de dynamique dans un spectacle, parce que je fais beaucoup de spectacles toute seule. 45 minutes toute seule avec ma guitare, je trouve ça long. Fait que de changer des fois au ukulélé, de faire un texte, juste parler, ça change aussi la dynamique, ça aide à comme donner un souffle à la patente, puis ça me permet de m'exprimer plus en profondeur sur des choses. Les slams sont plus souvent engagés ou c'est seulement un texte pour comme mettre une ambiance avant une chanson, mais c'est comme tout mon côté. Moi, j'écris. Avant de faire la musique, je suis tout le temps en train d'écrire. Fait que c'est comme une façon d'utiliser ça, de ma passion pour l'écriture.
Un mal de
Tu as fait plusieurs concours dans ta vie, notamment Petite Vallée. Tu as fait aussi Vue sur la relève. Tu as été prise à Granby récemment. Quelle importance ont les concours dans ta vie?
C'est un raccourci, faire les concours. C'est beaucoup de visibilité, c'est comme un concentré d'expérience. Mais chaque concours a vraiment sa personnalité. Tu sais, j'ai fait ma première place des arts, qui était une expérience pas nécessairement extraordinaire. J'ai pas tant trippé de faire ça. Petite Vallée, ça a été vraiment formateur. Petite Vallée, ils sont vraiment axés sur comme faire de toi un meilleur artiste, puis genre découvrir ta passion. Puis c'est la première fois où j'étais traitée comme une professionnelle de la musique. Mais les concours, en fait, pour revenir à l'essence des choses, c'est vraiment des incubateurs. Il y a des concours qui ont beaucoup de formation, mais c'est beaucoup de visibilité aussi. Quand tu fais partie d'un concours, il y a ta face un peu partout. Puis c'est beaucoup les rencontres aussi. C'est à travers les concours, je me suis fait des bons amis qui font la même job que moi, puis on reste vraiment très proches. Mais tu sais, juste pour sortir de ta zone de confort, puis c'est déjà ça, ça aide.
Des années de retard. Les feux de paille qui brûlent au fond de tes entrailles, il faut que tu y ailles. Tu peux pas rester ici. Les pas de loup, les cris de guerre, les images floues, et malgré tout, tu peux pas rester ici. Tu peux pas rester ici. Compter les corps entre l'éclair et le tonnerre, vouloir très fort en finir avec hier. Au fond des poches, des mains qui pèsent comme de la roche, tous ces filoches. Tu peux pas rester ici. Tu peux pas rester ici. Compter les corps entre l'éclair et le tonnerre, vouloir très fort en finir avec hier.
Là, on peut dire que ton projet solo est bel et bien enclenché là, pour de bon, puisque bon, tu as sorti un album en 2015, Zalbum,
Ouais.
et là, tu es en préparation pour un nouvel album qui est supposé sortir
Éventuellement.
éventuellement.
Ouais. Les filles sages vont au paradis, les autres vont où elles veulent.
Comment tu décrirais cet album-là comparativement à l'album précédent?
C'est vraiment une suite du album. Tu sais, le album, on l'a fait avec pas de budget, pas de temps. Juste Jean-Sébastien, Alex puis moi au chalet, avec juste comme le trip de faire de quoi qu'on va être fiers puis qu'on va aimer. Puis on a vraiment, effectivement, trippé vraiment beaucoup. Mais pour là, les filles sages vont au paradis, les autres vont où elles veulent. On a été financés par Musique Action, on a eu le temps de faire une pré-prod. Fait qu'on a déjà tout enregistré les tunes avant d'aller taper. Fait qu'on avait une idée d'où est-ce qu'on s'en allait. On est retourné au même chalet, le chalet de ma mère. Puis on a passé une semaine là-bas, puis on a tapé les trucs. Il y a Julie qui est en plus, mais sinon, c'est la même équipe. Fait que c'est juste comme un peu pareil, mais plus. Plus de temps, plus de budget, plus de monde. Moi, je suis super excitée avec ça parce qu'on a vraiment... Ça fait un moment qu'on joue ensemble. On développe vraiment les chansons ensemble. Je vais écrire les chansons, les textes, les accords, mais après ça, on la construit vraiment ensemble. On s'est comme construit un son. Moi, j'ai tendance à aller dans des lieux plus communs quand je vais composer ou quand je vais arranger, mais je suis avec 3 bons arrangeurs qui m'apportent vraiment autre chose, qui apportent le truc ailleurs. On a vraiment une belle dynamique de travail. J'ai vraiment hâte. C'est rare que je suis excitée de ce que je tape. J'aime pas ça, enregistrer. Je trouve ça super angoissant. L'idée que c'est la performance qui va être enregistrée puis qui va être réentendue pour toujours, ça me rend vraiment mal. Moi, je suis vraiment quelqu'un qui est plus à l'aise live qu'en studio. Mais là, ça fait une couple de fois que je fais le processus avec les mêmes gens aussi. Là. Jean-Sébastien, il a réalisé tout ce que j'ai tapé, c'est avec Jean-Sébastien. J'ai tendance à être très, très fidèle en musique. Puis c'est ça. Fait que ça va être vraiment la suite de ça. Le même, juste plus gros, meilleur.
C'est l'hiver. C'est le matin. Un matin, pas de cadran. Tu te réveilles doucement. Il est peut-être encore vraiment tôt, peut-être pas tant. Tu le sais pas, puis c'est pas important. Tu sais qu'il fait vraiment froid dehors. Tu le sais parce qu'il n'y a pas un nuage pour empêcher le soleil de venir baigner le décor.
Ton processus créatif, comment ça se passe? Est-ce que c'est toujours un flash que tu as? Est-ce que c'est « je veux parler de ce thème-là en particulier » c'est des expériences personnelles que tu veux raconter?
C'est variable. Ouais. C'est très variable, mais ce qui arrive le plus souvent, c'est que je vais comme jouer un riff, puis je vais me mettre à chanter en yogourt dessus. Puis à un moment donné, les deviennent des mots. Puis souvent, ça part d'une phrase, puis là, je peux pas expliquer, mais le reste s'écrit. Mais j'ai pris des ateliers d'écriture, surtout l'année passée à Tadoussac. Puis avec la SPAC aussi, j'ai pris une couple d'ateliers. Fait que j'ai développé des outils un peu plus comme professeur. Tu sais, des fois, quand je bloque avec un texte ou comment développer une idée, j'ai vraiment développé... J'écris plus comme quand j'avais 17 ans, puis c'était vraiment tout émotif, là. Là, j'ai vraiment plus comme une espèce de recul, puis j'ai appris, en fait, à me relire un peu plus. Puis j'écris aussi des textes pour les autres. Fait que j'ai vraiment une autre approche par rapport à écrire les textes, mais la mélodie, la musique, ça reste toujours un petit moment de magie. Puis une espèce de flash. Ça part d'une phrase, souvent, ou d'une image, en fait, d'une image. Ça, c'est un des trucs que j'avais appris dans un atelier. J'avais trouvé ça super intéressant. Si tu veux parler, admettons, d'une personne ou d'une situation, il faut que dans ta tête, tu vois toute la pièce, comment elle est décorée, tout ce qu'il y a autour, même si tu n'en parles pas. La façon dont tu vas parler de la personne va être teintée si tu sais qu'est-ce qu'il y a autour. Il faut que tu ailles le portrait large pour raconter l'histoire. Fait que c'est pour ça que c'est plus facile d'écrire des chansons qui vont parler de nous, parce qu'on a le background de notre propre vie.
Dans tes bras le matin, je veux plus te quitter. T'es mon chandail préféré. Ah, j'aime bien, 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 bien. J'aime bien.
Dans tes textes, c'est souvent saveur politique, il y a souvent des messages revendicateurs. Tu t'es d'ailleurs fait critiquer dans des concours pour ça, ce qui est un peu ironique, parce que les artistes, on sait, ils sont souvent engagés dans leurs textes.
C'est drôle.
Et pour toi, c'est très important, justement, de porter un message revendicateur dans tes chansons?
Moi, j'ai l'impression que j'ai plus d'impact avec un micro devant des gens que dans une manif. Puis aussi, j'ai envie de parler à des gens qui sont pas déjà engagés, qui n'ont pas déjà eu cette critique-là, cette réflexion-là. C'est à eux que j'ai envie de parler. J'ai envie de parler parce que les gens sont plus radicaux et politisés qu'ils le pensent. C'est juste que c'est pas un discours qui se rend. Puis je pense que c'est important de donner des pistes de réflexion aux gens. Puis ça changera peut-être pas leur vie la première fois, mais si ça peut sommer quelque chose. Puis à chaque fois que je vais partager quelque chose de politique, c'est toujours du point de vue humain parce que c'est là où ça résonne, puis ça reste, puis ça t'habite.
Sans cesse bombardé par le même refrain. Si t'es pas bonne à marier, fille, t'es bonne à rien. Surveille ton poids, surveille ton langage. Réponds oui, papa, et reste bien sage. Les filles sages servent à décorer les salons. Les plus jeunes et jolis servent à vendre le savon, celui qui mousse la libido des acheteurs de bonbons. Le prochain qui me dit « Mais le sexe vend » reçoit mon point au menton. Si le sexe vendait vraiment, on penserait à la moitié des acheteuses et acheteurs qui préfèrent les garçons.
Quels sont les enjeux qui te tiennent le plus à cœur?
C'est difficile d'en pointer juste un parce que je pense que tout est lié. Je pense que... mais ce qui ressort souvent, c'est la place des femmes dans le milieu de la musique parce que c'est mon quotidien, parce que, bon, je m'identifie pas tout le temps comme une femme, mais reste que je suis lue comme une femme et que je vis l'oppression des femmes quand je suis dans un milieu d'hommes. Il faut tout le temps que je justifie un peu ma place. Donc, comme c'est l'expérience que j'ai au quotidien, c'est souvent celle que je vais parler le plus. Le féminisme, mais il y a aussi un gros problème d'homophobie, de racisme. Puis tout ça est lié ensemble. Hein. Tout le système dans lequel on vit est basé sur la violence et l'oppression. C'est ça qui fait que ça marche.
Dans un registre peut-être un petit peu plus léger. Pour les gens qui n'ont jamais vu Samuel en spectacle, comment tu décrirais un de tes spectacles, un de tes shows?
C'est de la chanson, ça tourne beaucoup autour du texte. C'est vraiment de la chanson à texte. Ça groove toujours un peu. J'ai toujours une espèce de spontanéité un peu... j'aime ça, dire ce qui me passe par la tête, faire rire les gens. Si les gens rient pas, j'ai manqué mon coup. Ça va être des chansons plutôt plus sérieuses. Puis entre les chansons, c'est là où est-ce que je vais comme alléger un peu la donne. Je fais des spoken word aussi. Je me produis beaucoup toute seule. C'est plus folk quand je suis toute seule. Avec Alex, là, on rajoute comme une couche d'arrangement. Puis avec tout le band, là, j'aime ça me coucher sur le dos pour faire des solos de guitare. C'est ça.
Une fois une princesse autonome qui vivait dans l'attente d'absolument personne, sans télé, sans patron, sans mari et sans chaîne, avait fait sa maison dans une ruche sans rein, loin des princes charmants qui voudraient changer son nom, prenait amant ou amant selon les saisons, pas envie, pas le goût d'être la moitié d'un tout, le binôme, voyez-vous, ça reste une question de goût. Pas par ici, la sortie. Pas par ici, la sortie. Il était une fois une femme arc-en-ciel prête à montrer les crocs, à qui s'en prend à ses ailes, sans télé, sans patron, sans plastique et sans chaîne, avait fait sa maison dans une ruche sans rein, loin des images préfaites, une beauté sans pareil, grandiose et parfaite, la tête aux orteils, pas envie, pas le goût de répondre aux standards qu'elle a vu gaspiller, le nez collé au miroir, pas par ici. Il était une fois une ruche sans reine où vivaient que des gens libérés de leur chaîne, sans télé, sans patron, sans état ni patrie. Une jolie maison à 2 pas de la sortie où la vie est douce grâce au miel de chacune, que ça tire ou ça pousse, ça se serre les plumes, pas envie, pas le goût de vivre chacune pour soi, ça réchauffe, voyez-vous, de partager son toit, mais pas par ici. Pas par ici. semble accroché aux quatre coins du ciel comme le décor.
Et qu'est-ce qui te rend le plus heureuse dans la vie?
Ce qui me rend vraiment heureuse dans la vie, jouer de la musique. Sérieux, genre, être sur un stage, sentir que le monde embarque dans mon truc, sentir mon band avec moi, comme c'est vraiment toujours un moment extraordinaire. Puis quand les gens viennent me voir puis me disent « Aïe, tu m'as fait réfléchir là-dessus, ça m'a vraiment touché. C'est ça, genre, ça fait tellement un sens ce que je fais quand ces moments-là se passent. C'est sûr, c'est pas tout le temps comme ça. Il y a des shows, des fois, ça se passe pas. Mais il y a comme une magie que j'ai l'impression que ça sort, c'est plus grand que moi. Puis ça me remplit de bonheur. C'est pour ça que je fais ça.
Et qu'est-ce que tu trouves le plus difficile en tant qu'auteur, compositeur, interprète?
Il y a plein de petits défis. Je pense que gérer mon horaire et mon budget, c'est le pire. Là. Je suis vraiment pauvre. J'ai hâte de pouvoir payer mon band ce qu'ils valent. C'est ce que je trouve le plus dur, là, c'est d'avoir à demander aux gens de travailler pour moins de ce qu'ils valent. Je trouve ça vraiment, vraiment difficile. Puis ce qui est, c'est qu'il n'y a pas d'argent. Il y a comme plein de petites poches où il y a beaucoup d'argent, mais pour la plupart des gens, il n'y en a pas. Puis si je veux faire ce que j'aime, il faut que j'accepte que les gens que j'aime ne soient pas payés ce qu'ils valent. Ça me fait vraiment chier.
Le temps qui court après toi, les nuits qui s'envolent.
Et qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus comme artiste?
J'adore ma vie, là. C'est mon occupation principale en ce moment, puis c'est vraiment le fun. J'aime que rien se ressemble. Tout se ressemble un peu, mais rien se ressemble. C'est toujours différent. Je peux avoir une idée, genre, de marbre, puis elle se réalise. Il y a comme, tout est comme un peu possible. Puis j'ai comme une espèce de free pass parce que je suis une artiste. J'ai le droit d'être extravagante, j'ai le droit de... Toutes ces choses-là que avant, maintenant que j'ai un minimum de reconnaissance, on m'accorde le droit d'être cette chose-là que je pouvais pas tant être avant parce que c'était weird, c'était bizarre que... Mais là, j'ai comme un passe-droit, je fais ce que je veux, puis j'adore ça. Je fais des shows, c'est pas tout le temps pareil, je sais jamais vraiment à quoi m'attendre, je rencontre tout le temps des gens vraiment cool, j'aime vraiment ma job. Puis je passe plein de temps avec mon band, c'est mes amis préférés, c'est mes gens que j'adore le plus. Fait que c'est vraiment un job de rêve, là. C'est la job la moins payante, mais la plus chouette que j'ai jamais eue.
Qu'est-ce qui s'en vient pour Samuel?
Mais là, on va finir l'album. C'est notre premier vrai album. Fait que c'est officiellement l'album qui va nous lancer. Ça fait 10 ans que je fais ça, mais sur le circuit professionnel, c'est notre vrai premier album. Fait que j'ai aucune idée de ce qui s'en vient, mais plein de choses sont possibles. C'est ça que je trouve merveilleux. Je sais pas. J'ai aucune idée comment les gens vont accueillir l'album. Moi, je suis vraiment contente. À date, quand on fait les tunes en show, ça se passe bien. Mais ça dépend tellement pas de moi. C'est pas une question de talent, on va se le dire. Là, faire carrière, c'est pas une question de talent, c'est une question de politique, puis de contexte, puis de plein d'affaires. Fait que j'ai vraiment aucune idée de ce qui s'en vient et c'est ce que je trouve extraordinaire. Tout est possible.
Dis-moi encore que tout est beau, qu'il fera chaud, que ce monde-là aura pas ma peau.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Montréal en musique. Aujourd'hui, on rencontre une jeune artiste de 23 ans originaire du Myland à Montréal, qui déjà, malgré ses 23 ans, surprend avec des textes d'une grande maturité qui sont portés par sa voix sensible et fragile. Aujourd'hui, on a le plaisir de rencontrer Lydia Kepinski.
Je pourrais te dire, tu vas retrouver l'amour, c'est sûr, mais l'amour est mort.
Tu sais, l'art fait partie de la vie de tout le monde. Juste des gens qui décident d'être spectateurs et d'autres qui décident d'être créateurs.
Je vais t'apprendre à mentir, on pourra faire croire, nous autres n'importe quoi. Viens, je vais t'apprendre à mentir.
Lisa, tu es une artiste multidisciplinaire, tu es musicienne.
Je fais tout.
Tu fais tout, également des arts visuels. C'est quoi tes premiers souvenirs que tu as de toi qui crée de l'art, par exemple?
Que moi qui crée de l'art?
Les premiers souvenirs que tu as.
Ben, je sais pas, des fois, je regarde les enfants puis je trouve que c'est des créateurs sans le vouloir, tu sais. Juste parce qu'ils ont une conception différente du monde, puis l'idée, c'est juste de conserver ce regard nouveau sur le monde.
Tu as commencé tout d'abord en jouant du piano classique?
Oui.
Ça a commencé vers quel âge?
Mes parents m'ont inscrit... En fait, non, j'ai commencé ma carrière en tant que carillonniste dans un ensemble de carillons quand j'avais 8 ans. C'est comme ça que ça a commencé. Ensuite, il y avait un piano chez nous, puis mes parents m'ont inscrite à des cours de piano. Fait que j'ai fait du piano classique jusqu'en secondaire 1. Mais c'est comme... On m'imposait des partitions, puis j'avais tendance à pas les suivre puis à faire une relecture parce que je trouvais ça un peu, en fait, un peu prétentieux d'essayer d'interpréter du Bach aussi bien que Bach, tu sais. Puis je me disais que c'était probablement plus intéressant comme des relectures puis le revisiter un petit peu. Mais je pense que si j'avais commencé avec du jazz, j'aurais plus aimé ça puis j'aurais continué plus longtemps.
Et tu as commencé la guitare également à cette époque-là environ?
Plus à mon adolescence. Ouais. Là, après le piano, j'ai fait comme une écart en titre, de me faire dire quoi faire. Puis après ça, j'ai commencé la guitare, chez nous, ben tranquille.
De façon autodidacte?
Ouais. En fait, je me suis acheté un livre des partitions des Beatles. Puis je me suis dit, il faut que je passe à travers, comme, toutes les tunes. C'est ça que j'ai fait. J'ai appris l'anglais et la guitare en même temps.
Et c'est à partir de là que tu as commencé à composer des chansons?
Ouais. Ben, au début, je prenais des textes qui avaient déjà été écrits. Je prenais comme des poèmes de Baudelaire, puis je les mettais en musique. Jusqu'à ce que j'aie quelque chose à dire. Là. Je pense que, tu sais, j'ai toujours été assez lucide comme personne. Là. Puis en secondaire 3, je concevais pas que j'avais le vécu nécessaire pour raconter de quoi de deep. Là.
Bon, c'est assez... comme la pieuvre.
J'ai longtemps attendu l'hiver, qu'il vienne neiger sur ma peau. J'ai longtemps attendu la mer, qu'elle vienne sillonner mon dos.
Au cégep, tu as participé à Cégep en spectacle.
Oui.
Et est-ce que cette expérience-là, ça a été comme un point tournant dans ta vie de
Ah, ben ouais,
d'artiste?
vraiment. Ben oui, c'est là que ça a commencé, en fait. C'est là que ça a commencé. J'ai vu qu'il y avait comme un concours, le Cégep en spectacle. Je me suis dit, je vais avoir plus de points, c'est des créations. Fait que j'ai écrit 2 tunes. C'est les 2 tunes que j'avais comme jamais... C'était les 2 seules que j'avais jamais écrites. Puis après ça, finalement, c'est ça, j'ai gagné ma finale locale, ma finale régionale, puis je me suis rendue en nationale. Puis c'est la grosse affaire, là, quand même, Cégep en spectacle. Moi, j'avais jamais vraiment fait de musique sur scène, là, tu sais. J'ai fait beaucoup de théâtre pendant mon secondaire, mais, tu sais, je pensais pas que j'allais atterrir là un jour avec un piano avec eux.
Donc, tu avais écrit 2 chansons dans ta vie, tu fais Cégep en spectacle et tu rafles tout.
Ouais, on peut dire ça.
Le prix coup de cœur va cette année à Lydia Kipinski.
Et tu es également une artiste visuelle. Quelle place occupent aujourd'hui tes œuvres visuelles?
Ah ben, au risque de te décevoir, de moins en moins.
De moins en moins.
C'est comme, j'ai commencé les deux projets en parallèle. Puis finalement, la musique commence à prendre beaucoup de temps dans ma vie. Puis là, je trouve ça tough un peu. Mais tu sais, j'ai encore mes stacks de dessins, puis j'en vends encore sur Internet. Fait que, tu sais, tant que j'ai un inventaire, j'en vends, tu sais. Mais je suis moins dans la production en ce moment.
Mais tu as déjà mêlé les deux, la musique et l'art visuel, lors d'un événement en particulier, le Vernis Show, que tu as si savamment nommé d'ailleurs.
Ouais.
Parle-moi un peu de cette expérience-là. C'était quoi ce spectacle-là et ce vernissage?
C'est ça, Vernis Show, c'était quand même cool. C'était comme un vernissage. J'avais fait ça au Patrovis, sur Montréal. Puis il m'avait donc passé la salle. D'habitude, il la loue, tu sais, mettons que je vais faire un show. Fait que là, j'étais comme, tant qu'à avoir la salle pour gratis, je vais faire un show en même temps. Fait que c'est ça qu'on a fait. C'était cool parce que les gens sont souvent gossants. Là. Souvent, ils te demandent comme... mais là, si t'avais à choisir entre les deux, ou comme, ben là, il faut que tu choisisses un des deux, mais là, tu veux faire l'un ou l'autre. Puis là, c'était un peu comme, genre, C'est parce que je fais les deux en même temps. Comme, arrêtez de me poser la question, genre, ça fonctionne, tu sais.
Ni un homme, ni une femme, ni un dieu ne pourra agir à ma place.
C'était vraiment cool parce que les gens, tu sais, c'était un 5 à 7, les gens n'ont pas payé, puis comme, tu sais, nous autres, on a réussi à faire de l'argent avec la vente d'œuvres. Fait que c'était vraiment comme une convergence.
Je pourrais te dire de peu qu'en faire, il va revenir. Mais je sais qu'il est parti pour me partir. Je pourrais te dire que tu peux compter sur moi. Mais je me ferais pas confiance si j'étais toi. Mais l'amour est mort dans un coffre de voiture. Viens, je vais t'apprendre à mentir. On pourra faire croire aux autres ce que tu voudras. Viens, je vais t'apprendre à mentir. On pourra faire croire aux autres ce que tu voudras. Je pourrais te dire que tes parents seraient fiers de toi. À vrai dire, ils sont morts, ils te voient pas. Je pourrais te dire qu'un jour on aura un pays. À vrai dire, je pense qu'on n'en mérite même pas. Je pourrais te dire qu'on a toute la vie devant nous. Mais celle que j'entrevois me rendra fou. Commence par faire la paix avec le trou dans ton ventre. Le soleil reviendra entre tes jambes. Viens, je vais t'apprendre à mentir. On pourra faire croire aux autres ce que tu voudras. Viens, je vais t'apprendre à mentir. On pourra faire croire aux autres ce que tu voudras. J'entends les rires lointains de mes frères, transportés par les vents, transportés par les mers.
Lydia, on est présentement au Studio B où tu es en train de préparer ton prochain EP. Parle-moi un peu de la genèse de ce projet-là.
La genèse de ce projet-là, ben, tout EP commence par des chansons qu'on veut sortir. Fait que la genèse, c'est que j'ai écrit des tunes puis que je voulais les enregistrer. Puis je pense que c'est une genèse suffisante pour créer un EP.
Et comment t'as rencontré l'équipe avec laquelle tu travailles aujourd'hui?
Ben, dans le fond, je suis venue enregistrer une tune ici à l'automne. J'aurais un enfant dans le ventre.
Puis plus tard, Lydia et Noémie, sa gérante, sont venues nous voir pour un projet de EP. Ils trouvaient intéressant ce qu'on faisait avec le studio, puis Chivi qui produit et met en marché. Fait que le projet a commencé là, à ce moment-là.
Voici mes frères alignés comme des bêtes, ils font la queue
Et il y a ton ami Blaise Bourboin-Léonard
Oui, c'est
qui
ça.
réalise ton album.
Ah oui. En fait, c'est vraiment un beau hasard parce que moi, je pensais pas travailler avec un réalisateur à la base. Puis les gars du Studio B disaient que ce serait peut-être une bonne idée.
Puis Lydia est venue me chercher parce qu'elle avait besoin de quelqu'un pour réaliser son EP puis guider artistiquement un peu le timbre du EP, tu sais. Et dans le fond, ben, c'est là qu'elle m'a dit « Ah, on travaille avec le Studio B, on travaille avec Benoît Parent. » Moi, je connaissais pas Benoît. Puis je suis venu ici, on a parlé, puis finalement, ça a bien cliqué, puis c'était super cool. Fait que, voilà.
En fait, Ben puis Blaise font une équipe tellement soudée que souvent, je me mélange puis je les appelle Blen. Fait que quand je dis que j'enregistre mon EP, je dis oui, je fais ça avec Blen.
Bien, on aime Lydia parce que c'est des bons textes. On trouve que c'est des bons textes. Elle n'a pas la langue dans sa poche, puis ça, c'est le fun. Puis moi, j'ai trouvé que Blaise et Lydia ensemble, c'était vraiment... J'ai été, en fait, quand même impressionné là, de ce qu'ils ont fait avec sa musique. C'est chansons françaises, chansons québécoises. Je pense que ça peut aller à plusieurs places aussi. Puis voilà.
Respirer, ça filtre l'air quand il y a trop de poussière. Quand on commence à tousser, il faut respirer ici.
Moi, ce que j'aime surtout, c'est la candeur. Je trouve ça vraiment candide, puis en même temps, avec des textes, comme il dit, quand même assez quand même poussés, quand même réfléchis. Mais il y a quelque chose de très... d'assez raw, quand même, dans sa livraison de ses chansons. Puis ça, moi, ça m'a vraiment fait triper.
Le secret, là, dans la chanson pop, là, OK, moi, je connais les secrets, là. Le secret, OK, c'est de garder ça fucking simple, OK? Puis le problème avec le piano, c'est que je le vois, puis j'ai comme... Je le comprends un peu trop, tu sais? Fait que j'ai comme besoin d'aller sur la guitare parce que c'est plus simple, puis parce que je connais moins l'instrument. Puis ça me pousse à faire des choses qui sont plus simples. Puis souvent, au piano, des fois, je me compliquais la vie avec plein de modulations puis plein d'enrichissements d'accords qui, finalement, qui sont cool, tu sais. Mais je pense que c'est le fun de trouver l'essence puis d'y aller dans quelque chose de vraiment simple pour que le message passe plus facilement. J'aime vraiment ça faire de la scène. Je pense que c'est vraiment là que je me sens bien. Là. Ben, le studio, c'est pas pire aussi, on va se le dire. C'est cool aussi, mais c'est juste plus nouveau pour moi. Fait que des fois, je suis un peu comme « Ah, c'est quoi cette machine-là? À quoi ça sert? Qu'est-ce que t'es en train de faire, Blen? »
Blen est en 2 personnes.
Ouais. Fait que là, je vais flatter Mme Saint-Germain puis je me calme. Puis là, je me dis « C'est correct, c'est nouveau, mais ça va finir par rentrer, là. »
Comme le soleil, tu te couches trop tôt, sans sommeil, comme les corbeaux, tu cries dans le ciel des phrases sans mots. Comme toujours, je pars, mais comme tu me pardonnes, me mettras-tu au clou, au fond du caniveau, ou juste à part? Suis-je la lueur dans le trou noir, ou une nouvelle corde à ton cou, avant que l'on ne s'écarte, que l'on ne se dénoue? j'ai besoin de savoir. Comme le soleil, tu te lèves trop tôt, sans sommeil. J'avais sculpté tel Pygmalion.
Lydia, parle-moi un petit peu de ta chanson Apprendre à mentir.
Apprendre à mentir, c'est une chanson qui est constituée de mots. Je pense que c'est Gaston Miron qui disait que le poème, le bon poème est le poème qui ne s'explique pas. Puis je pense que c'est assez juste. C'est un peu comme quand tu racontes une blague, puis t'es obligé de l'expliquer après. C'est un peu que ta blague est pas drôle. C'est un petit peu ma philosophie par rapport aux chansons. Là. Quand les gens me demandent d'expliquer mes chansons, je suis comme... Oui, mais tu sais, chaque personne se fait une propre interprétation de la chanson. Donc c'est comme si moi, j'offre quelque chose qui est un peu comme une peinture à numéros, tu sais. Puis les gens, ils remplissent les numéros comme ils veulent. Puis c'est correct de même, tu sais. Parce que ça fait que la personne qui reçoit la chanson complète la chanson avec son expérience personnelle. C'est-à-dire, c'est comme si moi, je fournis quelque chose qui est un peu comme au 9/10e complet. Puis là, que la personne qui l'écoute va trouver son sens personnel avec cette chanson-là. Fait que je veux pas trop aller dans les explications parce que je trouve que ça restreint l'adaptation qu'on peut en faire dans la réception de la chanson.
Je t'ai connu à l'envers dans une histoire d'eau où la poussière est retombée de haut. Je t'ai vu dans le sens contraire des aiguilles de la ville. Qu'allais-tu faire?
Avec qui rêverais-tu de collaborer dans la vie, musicalement?
Ah, c'est drôle, je me suis posé la question récemment. J'aurais dit David Bowie, mais il est mort.
Mort ou vivant?
Ouais, mais tu sais, vivant, ça laisse quand même une note d'espoir, là. Daniel Bélanger, je le trouve quand même vraiment pas mal dans mes cordes. J'aime beaucoup. Mais si Joe Dassin avait été vivant, j'aurais vraiment aimé ça faire une tune avec. J'adore Joe Dassin. Dalida aussi. Tu sais, je pense qu'il y a vraiment des belles affaires, même dans les affaires kitsch, là. Tu sais, il faut regarder au-delà. Puis je pense que, ouais, Joe Dassin, j'aurais vraiment aimé ça. Ouais, Joe Dassin.
Mais de voyage en errance, d'errance en travaux, la seule récurrence.
C'est vraiment un parcours entre le travail autonome puis la chance, tu sais. Il faut travailler beaucoup, mais il faut aussi rencontrer les bonnes personnes. Puis honnêtement, je sais pas ce que l'avenir me réserve.
Est-ce que tu vas continuer à faire de l'art visuel également ou tu vas plus mettre ça de côté ou tu sais pas? Peut-être?
Écoute, c'est dur à dire, mais je dessine tout le temps. Là. Je vais toujours rester une gribouilleuse, tu sais. Puis je pense que surtout dans la mesure où est-ce que je vais sortir un EP, je vais peut-être pouvoir comme inclure des dessins puis quelque chose. Tu sais, pour moi, c'est important d'avoir une vision globale, tu sais. Surtout quand tu es comme créateur de chansons. Puis moi, ça m'intéresse autant la conception visuelle, mettons, d'un album que ce qu'il y a à l'intérieur. Tu sais, je pense pas que c'est moins important. Je vais continuer à en faire, c'est sûr.
Ben, on espère que ça continue. On aime les chansons à Lydia, fait que ça peut en faire d'autres, puis qu'on continue à travailler avec. Jusqu'à maintenant, c'est le fun. Pour le EP, que les gens l'écoutent, qu'ils se rendent à certaines oreilles, tu sais.
On espère toujours que ça se rende le plus loin possible, je pense, là, pour Lydia. C'est sûr que oui, là. Le plus d'oreilles possible et qu'il y ait d'autres chansons, d'autres belles chansons.
C'est sûr que j'aimerais ça faire un album d'ici 1 ou 2 ans. Je veux faire des shows. Je vais m'amuser, là.
Aujourd'hui à l'émission, nous découvrons une chanteuse qui peint ses chansons de couleurs bien douces, au style similaire au jazz ou au bossa, avec l'aide de son vibraphone. Originaire de Chicoutimi, elle commence la musique dès sa tendre enfance, lance son premier EP en 2011, et avec une équipe qu'elle décrit comme gentille, généreuse et douée, lance son premier album intitulé « Et toi, tu fais quoi ?» en 2015. Aujourd'hui à Montréal en musique, on reçoit Joël Saint-Pierre.
Il faudrait qu'on puisse être immobile comme les arbres. Laisser la saison naître, sourire quand l'oiseau s'attarde.
C'est des chansons, c'est en français. Et ça le sera toujours. C'est doux, c'est mélodieux et les paroles sont importantes. Il y a de l'autodérision, c'est un peu pop aussi. Et on m'a souvent dit féerique, fait que je vais le dire, mais c'est ça.
Jamais bien que tous mes délires sont bien beaux, mais ne mènent à rien.
Je viens de Chicoutimi et j'avais une mère musicienne. Ben, elle est encore musicienne, elle est encore là, je veux dire, encore vivante. Bref. Ma mère était musicienne. Et donc, chez nous, la question, c'était pas « veux-tu faire de la musique », c'est « quel instrument veux-tu jouer ». Et moi, j'ai commencé avec le violon. C'était trop dur. J'avais 3 ans et demi, c'est trop dur pour moi. Après ça, j'ai fait du piano à 5 ans. Puis à 10 ans, j'ai commencé à faire de la batterie. Après ça, je suis entrée au conservatoire de Chicoutimi, qui est maintenant le conservatoire de Saguenay. Et j'ai étudié en piano et en percussion là-bas. Donc, les timbales, la caisse claire et aussi les percussions à clavier. Donc, dont le marimba, le xylophone et le vibraphone. Et moi, ces instruments de percussion à clavier, je trouvais ça vraiment facile et fun à jouer parce que, je sais pas, c'était comme un mix entre le piano et les percussions. Puis c'est comme ça que j'ai fini par trimballer mes instruments comme ça partout. Alors, je vais vous expliquer aux nouveaux qu'un vibraphone, c'est comme un xylophone. C'est comme un genre de xylophone, mais c'est en métal. Et voilà. Puis, oui, ça ressemble à un piano parce que ça, c'est comme les touches blanches d'un piano, puis ça, c'est comme les touches noires d'un piano. Et il y a une pédale aussi, donc si je mets une pédale, ça fait ça. Ouh. Et si je ne mets pas, ça fait juste ça. Mon arrière-grand-mère, en fait, était, à part avoir 14 enfants, elle était musicienne aussi. Mais elle faisait juste composer des chansons à la maison. Ave Maria, des trucs religieux, mais elle créait ses affaires, puis c'est super beau. Ma mère a fait du violoncelle, elle a été violoncelliste à l'enseigner et a joué au Saguenay pendant plusieurs années. Et ouais, puis mes frères ont fait plein d'instruments, donc, puis ils ont tous fini plus ou moins la guitare. Et moi, j'ai commencé à faire de la batterie et on avait un groupe ensemble qui était les frères à Joël. Et on faisait des fêtes de quartier, je trouve comme ça.
Sans toi, je fais les 100
Est-ce que tu peux me parler de tes années au conservatoire? Qu'est-ce que tu faisais là-bas? Qu'est-ce que ça t'a apporté?
Ça m'a apporté beaucoup. Je suis entrée, j'avais 12 ans. Puis je suis sortie, j'avais 20 ans. Puis j'ai passé beaucoup de temps là. J'ai eu accès pratiquement gratuitement à des professeurs extraordinaires, de très bon niveau pour... c'est pas grand, Chicoutimi, là. On avait des cours de groupe, on avait de l'orchestre, on avait des cours d'harmonie, de théorie, d'arrangement, de plein de trucs. Puis j'avais aussi accès à des locaux pour pratiquer, ce qui en percussion est pas banal. Au Saguenay, on avait comme des grands locaux, il y avait comme 3 locaux pour moi, pratiquement. Moi, je pratiquais entre 3 et 5 heures par jour, moi tout seul, ce qui est exigeant. C'est très exigeant faire ça. C'est un peu comme être athlète, là. Tu t'entraînes à performer, puis il faut que tu sois... Ouais, c'est quelque chose.
Ni quoi faire, ni quoi dire, donne-moi la raison de ce délire.
Mon professeur m'a beaucoup poussée pour que je fasse carrière en percussion comme soliste, parce qu'il trouvait que j'avais comme le potentiel, machin. Puis là, fait qu'il me disait « Ah, fais ça, fais ça ». Puis fait que moi, je l'ai écouté, puis c'est pour ça que j'ai continué jusqu'à 20 ans là-bas. Puis en même temps, je me retrouvais pas beaucoup là-dedans. Mais après ça, je suis allée à Boston, j'ai fait un début de maîtrise là-bas, puis là, j'ai fait une session. Puis après une session là-bas, en marimba classique, je me suis rendu compte que j'aimais pas tant que ça, le répertoire contemporain de percussion classique. Alors là, j'ai arrêté. Et j'ai trouvé ça merveilleux depuis d'avoir à pratiquer 5 heures par jour. Et fait que j'ai comme fait d'autres choses, j'ai étudié d'autres choses, j'étais en voyage. Fait qu'il y a des gens qui ont commencé à m'appeler « Ah, veux-tu venir jouer avec mon projet? Veux-tu venir jouer avec mon projet? » Fait que là, j'ai commencé finalement à être musicienne à Montréal. « Veux-tu venir enseigner à telle école? Veux-tu faire? » Fait que là, je me suis retrouvée en musique encore. Et j'ai commencé à vouloir faire des chansons pas longtemps après. Ouais.
Sortir, juste pour sortir, laisser ma vie derrière moi. Ce soir, comme à tous les soirs, depuis que tu n'es plus là.
D'avoir fait ça, ça fait que c'est sûr que moi, ce que je fais dans mon spectacle, c'est super facile. T'sais, puis même si les gens me disent ah, ça doit être dur, je suis comme, mais ce que je fais, pour moi, c'est très facile. Puis ça fait que je peux mettre plus d'énergie de mon cerveau, utiliser plus mon cerveau pour faire d'autres choses comme chanter, comme interpréter, alors que c'est automatique quand je joue un petit peu parce que j'ai fait des choses beaucoup plus compliquées.
Sinon, c'est un instrument qui est généralement utilisé dans le jazz. Et dans la musique contemporaine. Ça me fait plaisir d'être ici ce soir.
Mais je veux que ça soit simple, je veux que ça soit... je veux pas trop qu'il y ait d'extension. L'extension, c'est des... Dans tes accords, là, je veux pas qu'il y ait des couleurs jazz, je veux pas qu'il y ait de... Moi, je veux que ça reste un peu pop, sans l'être tant que ça, mais...
Quand tu ris, la lumière éclaire ton visage et les gens s'approchent de toi.
Et au début, j'étais vraiment comme angoissée pour est-ce que je vais faire la bonne note, je vais te chanter juste, parce que je contrôlais pas vraiment mes muscles encore. Puis à force de faire des shows, puis j'ai juste comme mieux chanté. Parce que je sais plus qu'est-ce qui va se passer si je fais tel mouvement avec mes muscles, puis c'est tout. Mais j'ai aussi appris à me foutre un peu de comment ça va sonner. C'est surtout ça, comme, faut pas que j'y pense.
Pour un peu de joie, toujours de la place.
Le défi, c'est de vraiment être dans le texte, et de vraiment interpréter le texte, de ressentir le texte et de faire ressentir ça. C'est pas facile à atteindre. Fait que des fois, t'es vraiment concentré, parce que c'est comme du théâtre un peu. Et j'ai pas vraiment d'expérience au théâtre. Mais c'est une toute autre dimension que quand j'avais mon truc de musique classique, j'avais pas à faire. Puis, justement, interpréter le texte, ça a été... c'est vraiment dur. Comme, à chaque fois, comme... à chaque concert, à chaque chanson, d'être vraiment dedans. Puis ça, c'est un... c'est pas facile à atteindre.
Que tous mes délires sont bien, mais ne mènent à rien.
Ton vibraphone apporte quoi à ta musique?
Je pense que ça apporte une couleur particulière. Sinon, ça reste quand même des chansons qui pourraient être jouées avec n'importe quoi. Puis sinon, ça apporte un côté visuel quand même important, je pense, parce que j'ai des baguettes, ça danse un peu, ça vole, puis le monde semble bien impressionné.
Depuis plus longtemps que moi, depuis plus longtemps que nous, c'était déjà comme ça. Le temps qui passe me dépasse, je suis perdue dans l'espace. Et toi, tu fais quoi? Les atomes de nos corps se déplacent, les planètes s'alignent face à face. Serre-moi plus fort. Nos contraires qui s'attirent à bout portant, l'infini qu'on traverse en un instant, comme un choc électrique. Sous un filet de lumière qui dessine l'univers, on fait semblant de rien, mais on se découvre nu, nos membres sont retenus, soudain contre nous. Le magma se transforme en plastique. On a perdu le nord magnétique. La nuit s'éteint. Il ne reste plus rien de notre danse que cette onde absorbée par le silence. Comme un choc électrique. Depuis plus longtemps que moi, depuis plus longtemps que nous, c'était déjà comme ça. C'était déjà comme ça. Je t'attaque et je veux que tu m'aimes, je détraque et me surprends moi-même à glisser comme une ombre dans ton monde.
Tu as lancé un EP en 2011. Est-ce que tu peux me parler de comment ça s'est passé au niveau de la production? Quel était le thème de ce EP?
Ouais, c'était un EP de 4 chansons. Ça a été réalisé par Éric Goulet. Pour moi, c'était ma première expérience de studio en tant que chanteuse, en tant que plein d'affaires. Moi, j'étais bien impressionnée. Là. Je savais pas trop comment ça allait se passer, comment ça allait sonner, comment... Puis on l'a fait semi-live. Donc, on a enregistré tous les instruments ensemble. Puis après ça, j'ai refait des takes de voix. Et j'avais de la misère à chanter dans ce temps-là. C'est ça, ça fait un 4 titres qui m'a quand même apporté des trucs après.
Sans toi, je fais les 100 pas qui mènent à notre prochain rendez-vous.
4 ans plus tard, tu as lancé ton premier album et toi, tu fais quoi? Est-ce que tu peux me parler de cet album? De comment ça s'est passé au niveau de la production, la collaboration?
Ouais. Là, je savais qu'est-ce que je voulais. C'était important je me suis rendu compte que c'était important pour moi de chanter en même temps que jouer. J'avais des préférences, mettons, comment mettre les micros, comment, avec qui travailler pour que ça sonne comme moi j'ai envie que ça sonne. Donc, j'étais allée chercher un producteur de son qui s'appelle Daniel Gelina, qui fait des chansons géniales avec un projet qui s'appelle You, Yourself and I. Et lui, il est très DIY. C'est tout un personnage. Il est impressionnant. J'ai demandé à Mathieu Charbonneau de réaliser l'album. Je voulais quelqu'un qui n'a pas trop d'expérience pour que ça soit pas trop... parce que, je sais pas, pour pas trop faire des albums en série comme on fait je sais pas, des chaises en série ou des trucs comme ça. Alors, je suis très contente du résultat et de tout ce que d'avoir travaillé avec ces deux personnes-là et aussi avec les musiciens. On a aussi travaillé avec Pietro Amato qui a fait un arrangement de corps sur beaucoup de chansons et c'est vraiment magnifique. C'est un corniste et claviériste. On a enregistré une bonne partie des chansons dans une chapelle proche de chez mes parents. Alors ça, c'était une expérience vraiment le fun. C'était magique d'être là dans cette ambiance-là. On avait le temps, mais en même temps, c'est une chapelle comme toutes les chapelles presque du Québec qui sont sur le bord de la route. Alors, il y a des chars qui passent, le plancher craque. Tu sais, ça fait une esthétique moins produite. C'est plus lo-fi. Donc, c'est un peu dans... C'est pas extrêmement lo-fi, mais l'album est un peu plus lo-fi, mais moi, c'est ce que j'avais envie. Après ça, on a enregistré dans un studio/appartement. On était là. Il y avait un chien aussi qui se promenait, puis il faisait du bruit, fait qu'on ne pouvait pas utiliser la tech. Puis après ça, on a fait... On a fait une partie Les pianos, on les a fait dans un studio à Montréal. Mais sincèrement, la pièce était aussi grande que le piano à queue. Je ne sais pas comment on a fait pour le rentrer là. Mais il était là. Fait qu'on a enregistré le piano là. Puis, je suis très contente de cet album-là. J'aime ça l'écouter. C'est pas quelque chose que je fais vraiment souvent, mais quand ça arrive par hasard, j'aime vraiment ça.
Quand tu es là, je perds tous mes moyens. Mais si tu pars, je fonctionne encore moins.
À un moment donné, Stéphane, il m'a fait quelques cues d'interprétation parce que Stéphane a fait beaucoup de théâtre. Ça m'a vraiment fait un déclic. Vraiment, il m'a montré des trucs de la méthode qui finit par ski, de je sais plus quoi, là, qui fait que tu vis une émotion qui ressemble à la chanson. Et je le fais pas assez, je devrais faire plus, je serais meilleure. Mais bon, je l'ai fait un petit peu et ça m'a vraiment... Ça a vraiment fait un déclic d'interprétation. Bien, depuis quelques années, je fais quand même beaucoup de spectacles. Je suis comme une des personnes chanceuses au Québec qui fait beaucoup de spectacles. Dans des bonnes conditions. Je me suis promenée, j'étais allée en Belgique, en Suisse et en France quelques fois. Là-bas, les gens sortent, j'ai l'impression, il y a plus de monde, mais les gens sortent pas mal pour aller voir des spectacles. Puis, mettons, moi, je suis programmée dans une programmation, dans une salle de spectacle, puis ils font confiance un peu à la programmation, alors ils vont aller voir le spectacle, même s'ils ne me connaissent pas, juste parce que je suis programmée là. Mettons. Comme cet été, en juillet, à un moment donné, on a joué devant 800 personnes. À un moment donné, on a joué devant 10 personnes. Ça dépend. C'est dans la même tournée, là. C'est le fun. Ils nous font à manger tout le temps. C'est vraiment cool.
C'est une chanson qui a été popularisée par Tony Roman. Oh my God! Et Vous connaissez sûrement Tony Roman pour Doua Didi Didi. Eh bien, le voici dans Chalala.
J'aime ça interagir avec le public. J'aime ça. C'est très drôle parce que des fois, il y a du monde qui te répondent. Beaucoup. Puis là, tu peux commencer à discuter avec eux autres. Puis là, c'est bizarre. Puis c'est drôle en même temps. Mais ça, c'est quelque chose de le fun parce que, tu sais, moi, j'ai pas besoin de jouer mes chansons. Là. Je les ai assez jouées. Je veux dire. Mais là, ce qui est intéressant, c'est de les jouer devant des gens, puis les l'entendre et répondre, forme de réponse. Fait que c'est là que c'est intéressant, puis c'est là que les chansons vivent, tu sais.
Me voilà bien prise à deux morts. Toi mon enfant, toi ma tumeur. Tu me fleuris de jour en jour. Tu prépares ton retour.
Est-ce que tu peux me parler de la relation que tu as avec Catherine Lalonde? Comment est-ce que vous collaborez ensemble lorsque tu écris tes chansons?
Mais Catherine, pour moi, c'est comme une superwoman. Elle est comme extrêmement brillante, extrêmement... c'est une poète vraiment inspirante. Elle fait des slams, c'est génial. Elle est vraiment hot.
Je pense que c'est elle qui décide, mais un des plaisirs, c'est de pouvoir la garder en chantier assez longtemps. On l'a pas fait très souvent, mais sur Carousel, je suis allée voir des spectacles. Je suis allée voir plusieurs spectacles. Et j'ai changé des petites affaires. J'ai rajouté à un moment donné une loupe de texte. Ça, c'est un des endroits où je me suis obstinée avec elle, mais j'étais sûre. Elle a finalement dit oui. Et j'ai encore des frissons quand elle le chante maintenant. Et la chanson progresse à ce moment-là avec la manière dont elle l'apporte, dont elle évolue, dont elle ajoute des orchestrations aussi. Elle est en train, elle aussi, de voir comment cette chanson-là peut s'épanouir. Et c'est bien le fun quand on peut travailler le texte là-dedans, mais c'est super chiant pour elle parce qu'elle la connaît déjà par cœur. Alors, quand j'arrive et que je change un mot, des fois, c'est des sons qui sont très similaires. C'est vraiment des mind tricks, des pièges pour son cerveau. On l'a fait sur quelques chansons. Moi, c'est la manière de travailler que je préfère.
Carrousel, la grande roue étincelle, éternelle. L'amour qui s'envole retombera du ciel, manivelle. La vie est ritournelle.
Dans des collaborations comme ça, je suis très ouverte à l'autre, ce que l'autre a apporté. Et je laisse champ libre pour beaucoup de choses. Presque tout. Juste, je veux dire, ah non, ça moins, ça plus, mais en général, je laisse beaucoup de place à la collaboratrice dans ce cas. Ouais.
Je te dirais que j'écris des chansons, pour l'instant, par elle, plus que pour elle exactement, puisque notre collaboration fait que ça se transforme. Mon idée préconçue est toujours des jouets, puis c'est là que c'est le fun.
Sortir, juste pour sortir, laisser ma vie derrière moi. Ce soir, comme à tous les soirs, depuis que tu n'es plus là. Danser pour ne pas penser que mon corps ne sert à rien. Et boire jusqu'à ne plus voir ce vide qui est le mien. Au petit jour, un inconnu pour qui je tombe des nues. Dire c'était bien, peut-être à demain, en rêvant de ton retour. Si l'avant-midi l'ennui me tient compagnie, que même plus tard je caresse encore l'espoir. La nuit ne s'envisage qu'à deux, bientôt je n'attendrai que de sortir, juste pour sortir, laisser ma vie derrière moi. Ce soir, comme à tous les soirs, depuis que tu n'es plus là. Danser pour ne pas penser que mon corps ne sert à rien. Et boire jusqu'à ne plus voir ce vide qui est le mien. Au jour doré, jour aimé, emmène-moi faire un tour, un détour pour toujours.
Est-ce que tu as un objectif particulier à ta carrière?
Non. Non, mais moi, ce qui m'intéresse là-dedans, c'est de faire des chansons qui sont intéressantes. Moi, c'est ça qui est important, puis c'est ça qui m'allume.
Jusqu'à ce qu'il n'y ait plus rien qui le retient.
Est-ce que tu as des conseils à donner à quelqu'un qui commence sa carrière musicale?
Ben, je dirais d'être soi-même, de pas se laisser embarquer dans faire des choses pour avoir ci, pour avoir ça, pour avoir faire ci. Fait que de rester plus intègre possible, puis de faire ça pour des bonnes raisons, de pas... Parce que il y a juste... C'est juste un milieu qui n'a pas beaucoup d'argent, c'est un milieu que c'est beaucoup de travail. Je veux dire, il faut faire ça par passion ou pas. Là. Puis pour moi, c'est toujours été important de bien... c'est de payer mes musiciens comme il faut, de comme traiter les gens aussi autour de moi, puis d'apprécier ce que le travail. Parce que, tu sais, on voit quelqu'un qui est en avant, puis on fait, ah, mon Dieu, 7 personnes là, tu vois juste une personne. Mais tu sais, il y a beaucoup de gens qui travaillent autour. Il y a comme le gérant, l'agent, les musiciens, les réalisateurs, tout ce monde-là, les collaborateurs. Puis c'est d'apprécier aussi ce que les autres font, c'est sûr. J'ai beaucoup de difficultés à me projeter dans l'avenir plus d'1 an. Fait que, puis je suis quelqu'un qui a beaucoup fait de trucs différents. Je sais pas comment ça va tourner. Puis ça va tourner comment ça va tourner. Mais ce qui est important, c'est que je fasse les choses pour des bonnes, pour des bonnes raisons. Puis ça va être ça. Puis je me demande vraiment, comme musicalement, comment ça va aller. Qu'est-ce que je vais faire, je sais pas.
Donc t'es vraiment dans l'exploration et dans ce qui arrive.
Ouais. Nous verrons.
Quand tu chantes, les oiseaux répondent un écho, comme s'ils n'attendaient que ça. Et puis quand tu soupires, le vent vient aussitôt emporter ton souffle au fond des bois. La triste terre a pour un peu de joie toujours de la place. Mais des problèmes, il y en a trop déjà. Tout plein son atlas. Mais souris et la vie entière te sourira. Et les têtes se retourneront.
So am I just gonna open it?
Yeah,
That's
show
it?
us what's in the closet.
What's in the closet?
What's in the closet?
Let's hit it in the closet. All right.
Wow.
There it is. There it is. This is Geek Central. Because in my old place, I had all these out. But when I moved here, I was like, I'm going to hide some of my geekiness, keep it to myself. Because before it was just all over the place, it was too cluttered. I like the idea of just having everything here. So whenever I record, I actually leave this open as a source of inspiration. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
So do you still game
Oh,
often, or
hell yes.
you still find time
Hell
to
yeah.
game even
Well, time
with
is-
your crazy schedule? Because
Bef-
it seems like you're really, really busy as an artist.
Yeah, I don't have to have as much time before. Before I used to game a lot. Now I game probably once or twice a week for maybe an hour if I'm lucky. But I'm still in that world. I just can't dive as much as I want to into it anymore.
What's
Because
your current game right now?
I just beat Horizon Zero Dawn.
Like you finished the game?
I finished the game, yeah.
Okay.
I just beat the game. See, gamers say I just beat the game. Non-gamers say I just finished the game.
Okay.
So I just beat the game.
You are not initially from Montreal. Where were you born?
I was born in Nigeria. My mom was born here. But I moved here because of my parents. They got divorced when I was a kid. and didn't really have a choice in the say. Actually, when I first moved to Canada, I didn't want to because I was a spoiled brat. You know, in Nigeria, grew up in a rich family, so moving to Canada meant that we had to downgrade. But coming here and learning about the culture and just being part of it just changed everything in my life.
And what really powered your desire to pursue music as a career?
Well, I've always known how to sing. You know, as a kid, my mom listened to Michael Jackson all the time, and you can't grow up with Michael Jackson and not start singing. It's just impossible. So I grew up with MJ and learned how to sing as MJ. Me, my boy.
Oh, boy.
I didn't grow up with Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. I wish I knew him. But no, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, learned how to sing, and as I got older, I just started doing it. But initially, I was just doing it because I could. And it really, honestly, wasn't until after my mom passed away that it became something that I did as a purpose to find meaning in myself again and rediscover what it means to live and share that with the world. And after that, it just became an emotional journey for me.
There's a place that I'll find you. In my heart, you know it's true. You sheltered me when I was blue. So I will always love you. You took care of me. You took care of me. You took care of me. So will always love you.
Recently, you rebranded yourself.
Yeah.
You were always known as Voice.
Voice, yes.
And now you are Steven Voice.
Steven, yes.
So what possessed you to make that decision?
I had got to the fourth album. Actually, the story of the album is a crazy story because I put out 4 albums in 2 years. But there's a big reason for that. But the music I was putting out, you know, in those albums were again part of that journey of self-discovery. And I got to the end of the 4th one and had realized that I had let go of all that pain that was holding me back. And it was starting to feel heavy to keep holding on to something that I didn't need to hold on to anymore. So it just became, it's just something that's happened naturally. I just felt, you know, it's time to let go of that. And one way to do that would be to symbolically allow myself to grow. And also, as I made music, more and more people would call me Voice, which is cool. But I always felt that I'm also Steven, you know, like my name's Steven, everyone called me Steven, and then suddenly no one's calling me Steven anymore. And I kind of wanted to bring back the humanity of what I am, that I'm not just this brand or symbol of whatever. I'm a person behind the music, I'm a person behind the stories.
You're obviously somebody that has a lot of tattoos, and I don't want it to be like a cliche question, but I have to ask.
Okay.
Which one's your favorite one and why?
Oh my gosh.
It's like asking someone what their favorite movie is. Yeah.
Gladiator.
Okay, fine.
I can answer that easy. It's hard to say what's my favorite tattoo just because they all have such deep meaning, but I'll tell you about the most meaningful one and the most simplistic one. There's this one on my arm right here that says 27-9 in Roman numerals. I'm not going to disclose to what the numbers mean. It's a code for me, but it represents the day that my mom passed away. I got that tattoo as a reminder of that because I had survived that day. And if I can survive this, I can survive anything. So whenever, you know, I have really bad days or things just go wrong in my life and I just think, oh man, I'm tired of all this, I just look at my arm and I go, you know what? This is easy breezy compared to what I've already been through. I've been through the worst. So really life can throw anything at me at this point, I'll survive it. And so I took something that was very negative in my life and I turned it into a moment of reinforcement moving forward. And music was the only thing that kept me going. It was my way of kind of releasing what was inside of me. And I don't know, I started to put my music out more and more and share it, and people connected with it because they felt what I was going through. But something changed because initially...
Hey everyone, you're watching Inside the Underground, and I'm your host, Kiana Walker. Right now, we are in the Mile End of Montreal at Sunrise Cafe and Collections. This is basically a cafe and a retail store all in one. And I'm about to meet up with one of Montreal's gems, singer-songwriter, and wonderful Mrs. L. Ray.
Saturday morning, he jumped out of bed and put his best suit on. Got in his car and raced like a jam all the way to you. Knocked on your door with a heart in his hand to ask you a question, 'cause he know that you're an old-fashioned man. He said, can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, 'cause I need to. He said, you'll never have my blessing till the day I die.
So you said that your dad was the lead singer of a reggae band.
Yes.
And then your aunt was a lead singer of a heavy metal band.
That's right.
So being, so absorbed in a family that was so musically inclined, did you feel like some sort of pressure to pursue this particular career?
No, not at all. Actually, I didn't even think I was going to end up in music. I mean, my family was very open, but for some reason I was always going for something more traditional, so I studied languages.
Oh.
And I also studied business. But it's only later on, as I kept singing and kept exploring, that, and when I picked up a guitar, I just was like, you know what, I freaking love this. This is for me. So
that's where your passion lies.
Yes.
And then in 2011, you won a music scholarship to Tech Music School in the UK.
Yeah.
So you were living in London for 8 years.
That's right.
So what was that experience like, and how would you compare the London music scene to the Montreal music scene?
It's kind of, okay, in Montreal, there's a lot of places where you can perform, and that's really nice. So imagine London times 20.
Oh, wow.
So just to give you an idea, when I first picked up the guitar, I started to play open mics over there, because there are a lot of open mics. You could go to one open mic a day easily. You can choose between 5 or more per day to go to, and I used to do 2 open mics a day at one point.
Wow. So that actually leads me to my next question. What's your favorite part about the Montreal music scene, and what do you think needs to get improved on in terms for artists to be able to thrive more musically?
What I love about Montreal, it's really authentic. There's such a melting pot. It's just, that soul is so there, like you can feel it everywhere, and everyone's so open to sharing their experiences. So I really like that about Montreal. When I moved back here, it really felt like home, like the tam-tams, like the percussion, that like Afro vibe, and that's my favorite thing about Montreal. To improve, which is a very difficult question, because I'm thinking about the number of people in a city and the number of musicians. I mean, there's a lot of artists here, and there's a lot of shows, and sometimes there's like there's 5 shows a day with 5 different artists. People can't go to 5 different shows, and sometimes it's the same scene that like to go out and see music or listen to music. I'm not sure how to answer that question, how to improve. I guess more open mics.
More open mics.
Maybe more open mics,
if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, as an independent artist, working on your own is it's very difficult to break through. You absolutely need to have a team, someone that has great ideas to market your music outside of Montreal.
Outside of Montreal, not just in Montreal.
Yes. What also makes it difficult is that there's a French scene and there's an English scene. So to cater to both is also quite
a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. Do you try to do both, or you stick to English?
Yes,
Okay.
because I'm so much more comfortable. I mean, I'm French, je suis francophone aussi.
Okay.
But I'm more comfortable in English, probably because of the time that I spent with my dad in London, and then continued my school over there. And it's just I started to write. I started to write in English in London, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm in London, let me try to write in French. No, it didn't happen. So,
True.
So I continued working in English. I mean, writing in French is another skill. I mean, for people that can do both, it's quite amazing. Like, chapeau.
And you've actually written a number of songs which have actually won songwriting competitions. Where do you find your inspiration in terms of writing music?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes. I mean, it always comes back to my personal experience somewhere. But it could be something that happened to me. It could be something that I watched, a film, or an emotion, or a social event, or something that I really hate. I mean, a lot of times I've written songs about the new president, but I mean, they'll never find the light of day.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like it really, it comes from everywhere.
Oh, I feel the heavy weight on my shoulders, and oh, I'm bearing down too hard on my knees. Oh, and every second is a war, stuck in doing what I hate, but you know I try my best to pull through. Yeah, my patience wasted, don't mean to be rude. Yeah, I just need you around, 'cause I feel stronger with you. Yeah, and I can lift a stone with you.
This is a t-shirt that's inspired by one of my songs called Gold for Water. So the whole idea is to just find a balance between saving money and enjoying life. And in my case, it was last winter. I was just so tired of the cold. I wanted to go on the beach, so I was like, I'm ready to trade all my gold just to go to the water. So yeah.
I also wanted to touch on a subject that we were discussing last night. So I had mentioned the fact that we were both biracial, and then you said that the word race has never really been part of your vocabulary. And that's something that I found very interesting, because you're a woman who is half French Canadian, half Jamaican, and you're living in a city like Montreal. So how do you manage to navigate the city disregarding the term race?
It's a little weird, but it's a habit thing. My mother and my dad are very open people, and so I grew up without really feeling that identified to something or country or a nation or a culture. It was more just like me and lots of people that have a lot of rich different types of background that I can explore and enjoy. I don't like putting people in boxes, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I like to stay open-minded with that. I mean, it's a habit, so yeah.
That's a beautiful answer, and I really respect that as well. And you also mentioned the fact that you try to live your life according to Buddhist and Rastafarian values while applying these values to the modern world. So in what ways do you manage to do this?
Rastafarian beliefs, Buddhism, and also Native American ones. They're
you broadcasting live one time with Clay and Friends for Inside the Underground. This is Adele on the beatbox, Killer B on the bass. We got Prez Fidesz on the keys in the back. Big ups to Samish the Old King on the 6 strings, and Clem the master orchestrator. Keep it funky fresh, y'all, on the 1s and 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so right now we're in Côte-Neige, Montreal, and we are at the J'Apartment. This is where Clay and friends reside. I'm really excited to meet them. Hey!
Let's just go in and chill. Hello? Yo.
Hey, yo, Chris. Yeah. You know, the thing about funky music is, all you really need yourself is a bass line, you know what I'm saying? Oh, really? Okay. I mean, if you're feeling extra groovy, you can always get yourself 73 keys and a funky drum set. Hilarious. Clay and Friends Collective, hip-hop, music, hustle, entrepreneurship. Yeah. Sex, drugs, and violence. I'm struggling.
We're all about hip hop in the true sense to us, is bringing these elements of like funk, soul, jazz, and turning them into our own flavor with the particular group we bring. And as a project as a whole, for now we have 5 members. We've got Adele on the beatbox, we've got Samish the Old King on the 6 strings, we got Clem the Master Orchestrator on the lead guitar, and we got Killer B on the bass, Pascal. And yeah, essentially we play a lot of live music, and yeah, I think the collective ideology is part of it, trying to bring out the best of everybody's background and integrate it into the sound that we bring to Yo headphones.
I started beatboxing because I had no other medium to express this type of musical impulse that I was feeling every day, you know?
And
I was
he talks a lot, and people are like, stop talking to him. He's like, fine, you know, they love that. I'm just kidding.
Trust me,
I know you're just kidding, bro. Just kidding. We spent so much time together, bro, me and this guy. Like, I know everything he says is a joke, you know?
I feel like music as a whole is often like that. You can get, I'm self-taught too with the whole like, you know,
With the whole bullshit.
Yeah, the whole bullshit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Talk shit, they get talking shit. All the time.
I say, no, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, after everything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, like Killer B went to school in jazz, but through that, you know, he plays a lot of funk and soul, so it's a question of taking what you can learn and adapting it to the sounds you hear in your head and what you want to project and create as music. So being self-taught, I think, puts you in that path automatically. You got nobody to tell you, like, no, that you can't go from that chord to that chord. It doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, essentially, like in the whole collective ideal, essentially what we do is, like with the whole ideology of the all-day jams, which is connected to Clay and Friends, we try and bring people from different backgrounds, so like a jazz or classical background, or even a female vocalist that's never sung on a track before who's got a great voice.
Right.
We have a lot of people around us, part of our social circle, friends, really good family, you know, that gets involved in our project actively and believed in the project as soon as it started. And without them, Clay and Friends couldn't exist.
We're lucky to have like this tangible spot where, you know, people can come around and do what they want to do, whether it's, you know, throw some ideas on the piano down or develop some pictures and be like, yo, I really think in the next clip, you know, this could be a really nice place to shoot something. Or like if you look at the Haystack Blues, the guy doing the animation on that, Kahimi, you know, he's just a friend who's been part of the project for a long time, and he didn't know how to animate before he made that clip, and he put in the time to be able to do that. So
Kahimi Kids.
Yeah, kids.
Go check them out. Like amazing graphic artists, fucking sick. We honestly just meet up here to make music, to take pictures.
Yeah,
the department. Yeah, we should call it the department, though.
Up, down.
Yeah. That's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even.
Up, down, up. Oh, yeah.
Like, underground is, I think, an ambiguous term, and it means different things to different people, but essentially I think what underground means is if you're producing art by your own means and you're not touching mainstream resources through your art, so I'm talking about like radio, TV production, music for movies and whatnot, you're part of the underground. You're part of trying to get your music out to other people yourself through many means, through the internet, social media, through playing live music, through playing music in the street, through trying to make your own mixtapes, to recording, to organizing events. So it's
being DIY. I think it's being like an entrepreneur, being a hustler. It's all these things put together, and that's like a mind state more than like an actual physical place.
It's like you said, you don't know what underground actually means these days. I feel internet has a really big part to do for that. You have so many resources with internet that you don't need, like Mike said, these mainstream resources to make your music accessible to the mainstream, you know?
Yeah, which is, I think that's a big part of the underground, is having to do everything mostly yourself or with your close circle of people that believe in your project as much as you do.
Okay.
So a lot of time you're putting time in for free and you're doing it just for the music. I'm not talking about playing shows, I'm talking about the creation part of it.
And the sharing part of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it yourself, and the people are taking it in themselves too. They have to go out of their way to find it. I think that's one of the
important too.
I think that's one of the key factors. You won't hear it when you turn the radio knob on. Won't be on the front page of Vice. You know what I'm saying? But it's there. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? Babylon and the damn for the lens on my right side, bringing it the vibes I send. If you gotta know, I bringing it back with the funk flow, representing Montreal, the land where it snow in the winter cold, soul color blue like the metro line, robbing up out you, so 4653 causing it. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, say welcome to Inside the Underground. CLAY wanna bring it with that thunder sound. So we well renowned, we ain't chopping pound. Wanna bring it live one time with the grooviness. Bless one time, I hear it never stressing. Got roof on the lens with the vibes I sends. Weekdays and weekends, keep it so vibrant, that vibrant thing. If you wanna hear it down, you'll rock the soul sing. CL with the AY, with the killer beat. I got Des from Prez right behind me, playing the shaker, keeping it moving live on 4653 for your mind one time. Yeah, keep it coughing, straight on the tempo. CLAY got so much potential, got the phone and the camera filming at one time. Yo, this hype right here is unsigned, be a poster on the wall. Who wanna call? I say what you gonna do when it all falls down. Nobody knows, I'll freak it with the flow. You're representing 5 to the 1 to the 4. I've been a beatboxing now, Montreal to Brooklyn. Hear it from your soul, the world could spin one way on in Texas. Taking it up upon it, make them do backflips. I'll keep it live, big up to Nomadic Massive. Yo, keeping it moving, man, you know I bridge, yeah. One time for your soul, and 2 to get by. There's something about the rhythm, and you know I get mine, it's like that, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
CLAY and
Yo, if y'all really want to know how we do this,
Yeah.
fucking Sharpie, go street art.
Ridiculous.
That was Clean Friends. You tuning in Inside the Underground Montreal.
Yo, that's 8 out. That's 8 out. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
Okay, look at him giving me some tune. Okay, so basically right now we're filming, not filming, sorry, they're recording a demo for their new EP that's coming out. It's going to be actually a bilingual EP, so French songs along with English songs. So we're actually going to start in like about 5 minutes or so. So this is going to be an interesting setup. We're going to have the keyboard player playing right there, the beatboxer over there. Here, actually. So they're going to be up here. We're going to have the bassist, who's going to be located right here. And then we're going to have the vocalist, Mike, in here. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to just follow around. And why are we doing it like this again?
And here are the vocals?
Yeah.
So like there's no leaking in my microphone and his microphone.
So he doesn't, I don't get into his mic, he doesn't get into mine.
Rolling in 3, 2, 1, action.